That's going to be a fun conversation. That's part of this progression system. I'll add that in there. I'll make sure it's in brackets. Respect.
Progression,
bollocks.
I mean, it is kind of tight. It's kind of tight in some ways, but it's kind of... Okay, we'll talk about it in the podcast.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to season 36 of Spine Chill. I'm your co-host, John. Here with my fellow co-host, Gary the Hot Cross.
Hello.
I thought you weren't gonna respond. I thought you were gonna be too busy giggling.
No, I'm professional.
Right, that's right. That's the co-host. And 37-time recurring guest, pending co-host, application under review, Doug Running Man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you a lot.
Welcome back, Doug.
Thanks, Coach.
Welcome back. Oh my gosh.
I hate that nickname already. Like that makes me sick. It makes me. I know. It makes me sick and it makes me sad.
I much prefer Pwinscowie.
Yeah,
Quince Gary, Coach Gary, Producer Gary.
Okay,
co-MVP, co-host. I've got lots of nicknames under my hat.
I feel like Quince Gary is accurate to the
yes
the vibe.
Yeah, I think that's the most accurate. Yeah,
I think that's one of my favorites.
Coach Gary would be accurate if you had the ability to inspire literally anyone, but I don't think you do. Also, you said under your hats. I've never seen you wear a hat in my entire life, so that's kind of weird. It's not really
hat man and no hat man.
When I said it, I thought someone's gonna shit talk the fact that I never wear a hat.
Yeah, true, and it was me. I did it. It was me. I'm shit talking.
Somebody posted on the Spine Chill Discord a picture of a hat that said Hat Man on it. I think.
Oh, did they?
I saw that in there. Yeah.
I should go grab that.
And they were saying that you needed to get it. Yeah.
Anyways, all I'm saying is a key component of being a good coach is consistency and honesty, and you just talked about under a hat, and I've never seen you wear a hat. So,
all right, well,
so if you'd like a little counter coaching, I got you.
No, you do a lot of smack talking for someone whose application is pending to be a co-host.
That it is. Well, I did get a response, but
unfortunately,
I did. Yeah, unfortunately, my response was under a strict NDA, so I'm not allowed to talk about any of it here on the podcast. So
damn straight.
Yeah.
But of course you know that. So.
There's an embargo date for the reveal. So
myself and Mr. Wolf had our people send the email. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did.
So today we've got a great episode for you all today.
Yeah, you did.
Spine Chill, of course, the #1 asymmetrical horror podcast, #1 Dead by Daylight podcast, #1 highest rated Dead by Daylight podcast, asymmetrical podcast. But we won't be talking about Dead by Daylight today.
No, we've got much bigger news.
We are going to be talking about the most anticipated, hyped up asymmetrical horror game of 2023. Gary, take it away.
Okay. So Killer Klowns, right?
Killer Klowns from Outer Space is, of course, what I was referring to.
So I've been keeping an eye on their Discord for a long time. I've tried to reach out to the developers and the publisher. I've not received any response from either. But I popped in the other day just because another game came out. I don't know if you heard, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre game came out.
Yeah, we'll get to that
We can talk about that in a bit in a second.
Yeah.
But I just poked my head into the Killer Klowns Discord server just to see if there was any discussion going on. And there was people talking about Dead by Daylight's Night Killer. And a lot of people asking the Killer, like, just being, is this game dead? There's a lot of that. A lot of people being like, this game's never happening. Just a lot of it. And then there's no moderators or developers chiming in. It's just lots of people being like, this game's not happening.
You know,
asking about the radio silence that they've basically had since February.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's
really interesting.
The horror asymmetrical community is like used to getting their hearts broken, right? And if you like relate it to like relationships, right? Like dating relationships, right? Like they're used to like getting into a relationship and then like finding out that that's not who they thought they were, and then they drift apart, and then they, but we're getting ghosted, bro. Like they're ghosting us. They were going off on socials. They were heavily active, like tweeting, responding. I remember when I joined the Discord, like the huge pin banner was like open beta coming soon. Like they were like ready. Yeah. Right? It felt like they had a game ready to go.
Yeah. And I was more excited for Killer Klowns than any other Asym game.
Yeah, if you go through the Spine Chill catalog, I mean, we devoted huge chunks of time to talking about Killer Klowns from Outer Space, a game that we don't know, is it even ever gonna come out?
I theory crafted the way the game was going to play.
Yeah,
off of the information I
did.
dug out.
Yeah.
God, Gary fantasizing, that never happens. Yeah, so it's crazy, right?
The news is that there's nothing. There's
no news.
Nothing.
It's so sad too, right? I mean, Carnival Hunt's gonna beat Killer Klowns to market.
Right.
That's insane.
It's looking like VHS might get a full release before Killer Klowns.
Oh, dude. Stop it, Gary. You know what was the saddest thing is about that? You said that, and the first thing I thought was like, oh, I would love it if somebody bought VHS and re-released it. Because that game is so fun, and I love it. I literally was playing Texas Chainsaw the other day on stream talking about how, like, I was like, I want to play VHS again, man. Somebody needs to buy that IP and re-release it.
I thought you were going to say, I was literally playing VHS the other day, and I was going to be
no.
Stop.
No, here's a problem, okay? I'm a strict believer in, like, not hiding what I'm doing. Like, I always have, like, my smile. You can always see my online status. So when I'm playing a game, you can see I'm on there. I'm never invisible on Steam. I'm never invisible on Discord. I'm just like, I'm a man of the people. All right. I'm always out. If you want to know what I'm up to, just check my status. Right. And you guys would all see if I was playing.
Oh,
VHS.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get a DM from me, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Being
And
like,
so are
you okay?
I can't. It's one of those things, like, it's called accountability, boys. Like, if I'm, if you're an alcoholic and you go out with the boys, they're going to keep an eye on you if you're at the bar. They're not going to let you go order a beer, right? You guys aren't going to let me play VHS. So
no, absolutely not.
Because you're good. Because you're good.
Mockery.
You're good friends. Oh, and mockery is our love language, Gary. That's exactly how this works. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm in a rock and hard place situation with VHS because I can't play it in secret, and I can't be held accountable for doing it. So
and to be honest, if you do open it, you will struggle to find a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not even really enough people to hold 2 matches online at any given.
Well,
moment,
they were gonna, like, I mean, we've all lost touch with it because they killed it, but they were gonna, like, completely take it down and delist it at some point, right? Like, they're not even gonna keep it up.
I think it's
I would
September.
assume so because it.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be one of those situations where, like, Friday the 13th, that game's last update was in 2017, and they're still up.
Right.
You can no longer buy Friday the 13th, but it's still, people that have it can still play it. VHS, they're going hide or die with it. They're just going to rip it off of Steam and say you can't play anymore. So
yeah. Wah, wah.
All those people that bought all those cosmetics,
like literally me. I'm these people. I'm right here.
Yeah, I got the founders pack.
Yeah, John, you and I, we both bought the $100 legendary edition, right? Like the big one.
I bought something. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember being like, I want to support these devs. I want them to have resources, for more games in this genre, and it went to waste. So
yeah, I did the same thing.
So yeah,
cool. I'm glad we talked about VHS today. Anyways,
anyway, can we talk about maybe the much bigger news?
What else has happened?
So back to Killer Klowns, right? So back to Killer Klowns, or
back to Killer Klowns. We're gonna talk for the next hour about that.
So, being serious, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game came out on Friday.
Finally.
It's out. We've played it. I've got like 20 hours in it. I'm guessing we've all got a fair amount of hours in it by now.
Dude, I'm so lazy. I think I've got 23 hours. Is it?
Look now.
23 and a half, bro. I need to stream for like 40 hours as soon as we end today. I gotta get my numbers up.
What were our first impressions? Oh no, actually, before we talk about that,
let's talk about other people's first impressions.
We should talk about other people's first impressions.
Yeah, those people.
So Twitter has been an entertaining place since Texas Chainsaw came out.
To say the least.
Yeah. You got your demographics, right? You got your people that are like, DVD is everything to me. I didn't understand this. I don't know. Okay. Do we want to just say, like, can we each go round table and say, like, what we think the worst take we've seen so far is, or like what our most, like, what are you guys actually on about? Because, like, I'm getting a little tired of hearing people that sit on generators for 90 sequence say that they're tired, that the gameplay was boring.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
The take I was going to bring up was I think even Wes retweeted it, being like, your game is repetitive.
Yeah. Says a guy sitting, he's probably tweeting that while holding M1 on a gen for 90 seconds. Like,
It's quite multitasking.
And again, no disrespect, because I love sitting on gens and the game, I think a key component of an online multiplayer game is having a core gameplay loop that is predictable.
Every game pretty much has that.
Yeah.
Like, you need a core loop. It's important.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And on the topic of it being repetitive, it's like, well, it just came out. This is the bare minimum amount of content the game's ever going to have. Yeah. You're comparing it to Dead by Daylight that's been around for 7 years and has like 30 different killers and 30 different maps and everything. Yeah. So, it may seem less repetitive at that point, but, TCM, it just needs more content.
It just kind of reminds me of on day one of the PTB, when the Singularity came out, I had people being bored of my add-ons. And I was like, it's day one of a PTB, and you're calling me boring for trying out the add-ons? What?
I feel
back to TikTok.
I feel like boring in a lot of cases. And obviously there are the exceptions. 3-gen Skull Merchant and the like. But
even that took a few games to get boring.
In a vast majority of usages, I think the word boring is code for "you're better than me" or "I lost to you." Like, it's so boring because losing is boring because you get the dopamine when you win, and when you lose, you don't get the dopamine. So losing is boring. It's just we're animals. Animals.
Yes, that's
true. Speaking of wanting to win, another take that's making the rounds. People were very upset to see that Otsdarva and Hens were in a group doing family win streaks on like day 1, day 2. So they're tweeting call out tweets of Ots and Hens for turning the game into an esport and ruining it for everybody because they have the nerve to be friends and play together and try to get wins in a row. Right?
Like when we were playing it and we were winning like every match.
Yeah. So the only difference between us three, literally sitting in this call, and Otsdarva and Hens and whoever they were playing, I don't know who the third person they were playing with. No disrespect, I skimmed the tweet. The only difference is we weren't putting a fucking win counter up. We weren't putting a streak counter up. We were doing it. We were playing the same way.
Yeah.
But we just weren't putting a counter up. And we made some comments because we had like maybe one game, I think, where 2 got out, and we were like, oh, we lost.
No, we drove.
Yeah, it's a draw. No, we've never lost. Undefeated on Texas Chainsaw. But yeah, so people are really upset. And then there was a viral tweet from Barbecue where he went in on the concept of people like developing metas and playing sweaty and trying to win super hard, bullying people in lobbies, which this one I kind of agree with, the bullying people in lobbies over not readying up.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of tweets about that.
Yeah, and it's like
very bizarre to me.
And we'll talk more when we get into the, breaking the game down. But the whole concept of bullying somebody in the lobby for not readying up when you do all of your pre-match preparation stuff in the lobby, like you don't know who you're playing when you go in because you have to pay. It gives you a random character, and if somebody else has your main, you don't get to play that character. So there's a lot of situations where you'll get in there and be like, oh, I'm not playing my main. I'm not set up. I need to get set up. What perks do I even have on this character? Like they kind of do all that, right? And then, also, people are just like, it's literally been out for 2 days, dude. Like, some people might be playing their first match. Like, chill the fuck out.
Well, they gotta learn quick.
Yeah, right? This is an esport.
Yeah.
And to the metagaming element, like they did a whole stream talking about the metagaming side to TCM. Like, being upset that people were doing builds. That's part of the design of the game. That's what they want. Yeah. They want you to do that. So you can't be angry at people doing that because that's what they want.
That's what the skill tree's for. That's what the perks are for. That's what the attribute points are for. The whole customization tab. Yeah.
It's like,
how dare you spend 2 minutes doing that in a pre-game?
I just think it's always been such a weird energy to be like upset at people for trying to do good. Like, I don't know, man. You're not gonna like go into a college level math class and be like, oh, you're using formulas? That's fucking sweaty.
And I'll say, like, people get upset that the game, the people bring like a competitive edge to it. It was competitive the moment it was an online game.
Yeah. Online multiplayer.
Yeah.
And even you don't even have to be multiplayer, dude. People are sweaty at Outlast trials, man. Like, that's just the thing. People just try hard.
People are sweaty. Forever. Like, when I play Stardew with groups of people, everyone wants to win the egg hunt.
Oh, tell me about it, bro. I played Stardew with a girl, and she is really, really sweaty, okay? Like, she cares a lot. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you there? Why are you... No, we only have so much time to get the fucking rutabagas or whatever. I don't know. That game's hard.
Rutabagas.
I don't know. Whatever the fuck she's farming. while I'm
Technically,
fishing.
there's
I
no
don't know.
rutabagas in Stardew, so I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I forgot that I'm talking to two experts about it. Am I about to get a takedown tweet about my Stardew? Okay, this is bad.
You think you're getting a YouTube video made about you?
That's right.
Wouldn't be the first
Exposed
time.
video.
It's
Rudabagans.
Yeah. Oh, let's go,
Fake
dude.
fan.
Bring it on, dude. I will rise like a phoenix.
Yeah, I think just in general, as usual, a lot of worthless opinions being spread around.
Yeah.
A lot of worthless knee-jerk opinions based on like very little information when the game is freshly out.
Yeah,
What?
people
What?
immediately picking a team. Like, no, I'm on Team Dead by Daylight. No, I'm on Team Texas Chainsaw. It's like, well, why do you have to pick a team?
All right.
Maybe you could play both.
Yeah,
This isn't.
it's like I refuse to play Modern Warfare, like Call of Duty, because I'm playing Battlefield or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Mhm.
No, like
Right.
that's. I swear, there's no other genre where it's like, oh, you play fucking Apex Legends. I'm a Fortnite player. We can't be
Yeah.
friends. Like what? Like it's so
Right.
dumb, dude. There's like I think there's some elements to it though. I think there's layers. I think a lot of people, and this is gonna sound hypercritical, but I think a lot of people may be like a little disingenuous about their motives for this kind of stuff. Like I think a lot of people would like exposure, and Barbecue. First of all, before I say anything else, Barbecue is like my first ever favorite streamer, and I know that's not him. I know Joe, like he's a good fucking dude, and the things he's saying are the things that he feels and means. Like he's always been real. I modeled myself after Joe, and when it comes to like being real, and even though like being real sometimes costs you like analytics, like you do say your real opinions, and I've always been that way about DBD, and my opinions about killer balance, and my opinions about perk balance. It's always been how I actually feel, because I could probably do a lot better analytics wise if I shaded more towards complaining about things that. I mean, if I guarantee you, if I did a tweet or a post about Made for This being overpowered, I would get a lot of traction.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
But I'm not going to do that because I don't feel that way, and that's just fake. And I think where we're at with Texas Chainsaws, a lot of people are jumping on with like what's going to get traction, what's going to get more exposure. I've seen some smaller streamers kind of go in on how Texas Chainsaw sucks and how it's not great, and then and I'm seeing them do better on DBD right now because everybody's streaming Texas Chainsaw and people are watching it. And some of these
Mhm.
smaller streamers are like getting kind of an influx of people because the directory is starting to be thinner because everybody's doing Texas Chainsaw, and so they're out openly criticizing Texas Chainsaw, doing the whole edgelord like, oh, I don't that game's
Right.
DVDs for me, and they're seeing growth in that. And to that I say, more power to you, bro. If it works, hopefully it's sustainable.
Yeah.
But I just think that it would be really nice if there was like some sort of filter on Twitter where you could actually, is this really how you feel, or is this just something that you want to get retweets and bookmarks on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We call it like the dickhead checkbox. Like check for
Yeah.
dickheads in your feed, uncheck for no dickheads.
you know,
Yeah,
when
that's
it's like
what I
that
like.
little thing at the bottom that tells you if it's like fake news or something.
Yeah,
It just
the
goes,
fact
"This
checker.
person is
Everybody-
85% chance they're just a dickhead.
Yeah,
Everybody needs to be hooked up to a lie detector when they tweet.
let's do it. I bet Elon will be on board with that.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
What
Elon's
do you
probably
do?
setting this up already.
Video
Like,
call
yeah,
him,
yeah.
John. Video call him. Make sure you're wearing a leather jacket with a snake on it. He's going to be like,
Yeah.
this guy knows what he's talking about. He's cool.
This guy knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll listen to you.
You like my NFT, bro? Check it out.
How much crypto have you got, bro?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of just a disingenuous kind of
It's just hot takes.
clickbaiting.
It's
It's-
clickbait.
You utilizing negativity
I mean,
bias to try and get some clicks.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing we see every time there's a PTB. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
type of energy.
First person start complaining, get some clicks.
Yep.
Yeah. Because where do people go when they're angry? They go to Twitter.
Real.
But I don't think most of them are angry. Like, I just think, I don't know. I think some people probably think, this is how I get my Twitch shirts in DBD by shit talking the competitor. Or maybe I
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
the first chainsaw rever or whatever the fog whisperer alternative will be if there'll be anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I hope there's not, and I'm saying that as a
Yeah, me
fucking
too.
fog whisperer,
Me
dude.
too.
I hope there's not. Like it just creates so many more issues.
I mean,
I feel-
they seem like not the types to do like anything like that. Some sort
Yeah.
of like elevated separation program. I don't think it'll
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but we'll see though. I mean, I don't know though. I think that historically, Gunn and Wes have been very active about they did the whole like streamer packs thing that they released like prior to the game. They did the whole DMCA protection thing where they were like super like they understand the impact that content creation, streaming and YouTube video creation, like has had on Dead by Daylight, taking a game that was an indie horror game and elevating it to like superstar status. Like I think that they're aware and they know what it did for Friday the 13th too, right? So I think they're aware. I think that it's one of those situations though that they're like, Wes is a real fucking dude. Like he uses his whole brain, right? So I think with him and with the rest of the team there, they'll ask themselves, will this elevate the game or will this create issues in the game? And then they'll decide from there if they think that a partner program makes
Which I admit, I don't know the right answer, personally. I don't know if the Whisper program's been good for DBD or bad.
I mean, I think it probably depends on who you ask. I'm sure it's helped individual creators a lot. I think that I've seen creators be helped a lot. I've been helped a lot by it. I got a lot of attention for playing in one of the Fog Whisperer tournaments. That was really cool. I think on the flip side, Fog Whisperer has become a very easy target for frustrations because behavior is, going to make decisions, and that's going to frustrate people, whether they make good or bad ones.
Yeah.
And, Fog Whisperers are like that frontline person. Like they're going to come straight to you. You get that one-on-one interaction. So maybe it's a benefit for them. Like they take some of the heat off. I don't really know though. I mean, I don't know. I take a lot of heat. But people are always mad at me. So it happens.
I'm never mad at you though, so don't worry.
Yeah, people have watched the podcast, Gary. That's not true.
Yeah,
we all
visual evidence to the contrary.
Real.
But anyway, enough about other people's whining on Twitter about their first impressions.
Who wants to hear their opinions on anything?
We're on the,
they have the number one podcast?
Yeah, I have to say, we're the number one video game podcast in Romania. I think it's time for our opinions.
Now, we can automatically just assign ourselves number one Texas Chainsaw podcast, right? Like, that's just
right.
Oh, yeah, we already are. We are just, by now, we just achieved
by
that.
default. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. So, number one and another category. Crazy.
We definitely have to make a t-shirt at some point that's just got like a band t-shirt that's got all of our accolades on the back, like tour dates.
We can put VHS with a line through it, but it'll still be on there, right?
Yeah. Number one VHS podcast. Just I mean, we Dead podcast.
Yeah. Number one Home Sweet Home online podcast.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
hey, look, we mentioned it.
We did mention it, yes. Yeah, so it counts. All right, yeah. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though. Let's talk about it. The three of us.
Yeah. Let's go first.
I mean, if there's anybody, I'm assuming, based on the listener base of Spine Chill, I'm assuming people probably saw that on day one we played together. Like that was a Spine Chill. This was a Spine Chill special event. I spent the entire first day the game came out playing with Spine Chill / Sinnoh. So we were all day. And
that was good.
I think that was great. I think that was a great way to introduce ourselves to the game. Playing family was incredible with you guys. I will say this. I have 23 hours in the game. I have not played a single family round without you guys, without the lands, without stacked lobby, right?
Yeah, I've
played solo.
I've played a few solo just to see what it was like.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to play family with Gary yet.
You haven't?
We should do that next.
I want to do it like after the podcast. Play like 2 games. We'll do like 2 games.
Come on, John. Do you want
to It's like 2 games.
I have some baby stuff to do, but
she can play 2
some other time.
She can play. She can be grandpa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The crying will work.
She acts like grandpa. She cries. She only wants to be fed.
Yeah. It's her main.
Makes sense.
Like perfect.
She's basically our grandpa right now.
Right. No, but yeah. So I would say we're talking overall impressions. Very positive for me. You guys might be surprised. It's not one of. I mean, you guys know me. I've been banging drums for Evil Dead, VHS, Home Sweet Home for like years. But like, I do have some criticisms, and I have some things to say, like that are maybe not all positive and complimentary. I don't think that this is a situation where we should just, oh my God, everything is perfect. There are some glaring issues on the tech side. There are some, in my opinion, glaring issues on accessibility and overall like progression and game balance side. Like there's just issues that
we'll get to that though, Doug.
Oh, we asked what the impressions were, so I thought we were doing that now.
Give me general impressions. He's doing it right.
Thank you, John.
Calm down, Prince Gary over there.
Okay.
We have a structure.
He's not following.
He's not one of your lectures, Gary. This is just a podcast.
He's not following the playbook.
Loosen up.
Okay. What am I allowed to talk about, Gary? Tell me, what am I allowed to talk about? And I'll say it. I like playing family. I like playing Victim. Victim is really fun solo because you can do everything on your own.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, Texas like game. I've only played Bubba as family because every time I played with you guys, I was just Bubba, and that was really fun. Like I'm to level 10, like almost immediately. I got a bunch of perks unlocked. It was super fun. I play Leland and Julie on Survivor. Or, I'm sorry, Victim. Leland is cool because he does a shoulder thing, and I can be like, yeah. Shut up, idiot! When I knock him on the ground,
Gary.
I don't know. He's
okay over there.
Gary unlocked something inside of me. I'm feeling animalistic.
Doug, just everything about it just sounds so angry now, and it's
well, because you pissed me off, Gary.
I like playing Bubba. Like hitting stuff with his chainsaw. So fun.
Well, Gary, you pissed me off is the thing. You know, so
I understand.
But yeah, overall, the game's really fun. I guess I'm not allowed to talk about what I don't like, so I like it a lot. It's very fun. It's good. I think it's good that it has, like we've talked about this since the tech test, but playing family or killer feels more like playing Survivor and DBD, where you rely on teammates and you let people down if you suck, and they let you down if they suck. Whereas with Victim, it feels more like one person can have far more of an individual impact on the gameplay. I think the solo queue experience is best as Victim, and when you play with friends, it's best as family. Although we had a lot of fun playing Victim as a group because there is fun stuff you can do there.
Yeah.
I think that the nature of Texas Chainsaw being so like you can die fast, like you just die, right? It's not DVD where you get 3 chances, you get hooked. There's no second chances in Texas Chainsaw, right? So I think that nature is going to make bullying harder with like a 4-stack because I mean, if you're getting caught, you're getting caught. So I think that the whole bully squad, which I don't think is a problem at all in DVD, by the way, but the bully squad situation probably will be a lot less pronounced in Texas Chainsaw, just by nature of the fact that you can die real fucking fast if you don't, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. My first impressions were I liked it. I think it's very fun. I liked playing as both sides. I particularly enjoyed playing with, my friends. I've enjoyed that over my solo experience with it. And yeah, the game seems pretty well balanced. It's got a few issues here and there, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail in a little bit. I agree with what Doug was pointing out. But yeah, generally I was very happy with the game. I thought it ran really smoothly, very optimized. I didn't have any like lag issues that I noticed, more on the technical test. Yeah, generally my first impressions very happy.
Yeah, I had pretty good first impressions. There's a lot of little nitpicky problems that I have. Most of them are about the game's features, which we'll get into in more specific detail. I honestly, I think the game launched with like far fewer features than I was anticipating, like stuff that I thought it should have just had on launch day. So I'm a little disappointed in that. But as far as like the core gameplay loop, family and Victim gameplay, I'm really happy with it overall. I had a great time playing as family in particular. I think family is it offers a more unique experience because it's co-op, and we haven't really had that in any other asymmetrical game yet, aside from Identity V, but that doesn't count. Made the
we mentioned it. We'll add it to the list.
I made the Identity V fans mad right now, but who cares? All 5 of them.
But they all listen, though. I guarantee you, just in case we mention it.
Right.
Just saying, like, Identity V. I don't know. Carry on.
I like the Victim gameplay too. I haven't really gone into solo Victim yet, but I imagine, like, I totally understand what Doug's saying. I think we mentioned it before too when we were talking about the technical test, that Victim is more of the solo queue experience and family is more about coordination. So I like that unique spin on things. It kind of is like the inverse of DBD and most other asymmetrical horror games that we've played. So
yeah,
I like the unique aspect of it, and yeah, I've had a great time with it so far. Those are my first impressions.
That's cool. No, yeah. So all positive, like initial thoughts. Obviously, there's issues we'll discuss as we go through, but
I will say this probably has me more excited to play more than any asymmetrical horror release in the past few years. More than Evil Dead, more than Ghostbusters, certainly more than VHS, more than Home Sweet Home Online, more than all these games that have come and some that have gone. So this is probably the most I've been excited since Friday the 13th. for a non-DVD game, asymmetrical horror.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when we just installed it and I went live and I was like in a call with Sino waiting for Doug to appear and I was getting so giddy, so excited to play it. I wasn't expecting it because I don't know, just it felt like Christmas morning. It was great.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep the night before. Like I told Gary, I got like 3 hours of sleep. I was like, I was, we talked about this for months and months leading up, and something about the way that my brain works, I don't get excited until like it's imminent, and I don't know if that has to do with just like not wanting to get my hopes up, or I don't know what it is. But long story short is, the night before it released on Thursday, I was like, oh, this is really happening. Like tomorrow morning, I'm getting up, and me and Gary and Sino are gonna play Texas Chainsaw, like legitimately play the game, and I was so excited I couldn't sleep. Like, and then we woke up and we did it, and it like delivered. It was super super fun. I'm with you on that, John. Like in terms of, again, I've got copium like with every ASIM that comes out because I'm so desperate for there to be another game in the mix. But this one does have actual long-term legs, I think. Like I don't know if it has like main game potential yet for content creation. I don't really know. I feel like that's a hard question to answer. I think people will get a lot of content out of it right now, but it really comes down to like what they add to the game and what changes they make to like the progression and whatnot. Because like, I don't know. It does feel like it could be limited, but again, that could probably be a byproduct of it being a 1 day old game and not a 7-year-old game, right? Like,
yes,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I kind of have an opinion on that. Like, I think I'm going to enjoy playing it occasionally with you guys, like as like would collab and do a Texas Chainsaw game late day. But I don't think it's going to be like my main thing because the solo queue experience just isn't as exciting as when I'm playing with my friends. It's a little, I don't know, but we'll talk about that in a bit more detail in a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So should we start with
on
victim gameplay, as that's the more
let's
solo
talk about victims
role?
This really is like Twitter's favorite section of the podcast.
Yeah, the victim section. Huh?
Talking about the victims. I'm a victim too.
They're all victims. But no, generally, like my thoughts on victim gameplay is like I really like. I think, and it's something that I spoke about when we did the technical test as well. Like, I just love the atmosphere. I just think it's
the atmosphere is very good.
The best horror vibe to any ASIM game. Actually, better than most horror standalone games that I've played. Like, it's just got such a good intensity.
Yes.
And the game is it's very well balanced in terms of how everything kind of comes together. So you walk around, you're kind of paranoid. Have you been spotted? Bubba runs past you, revving his chainsaw. You're a bit tense, and then when you do get spotted, like the tension just builds up, and it's just this big fight or flight kind of situation. Where if you're playing Leland, you just bash him, or you try and shank or whatever. Like you just run away. It's I think it's a really great atmosphere.
Yeah, I totally agree. There was like in one of our matches that we had where we were playing Victim, there was like a moment when the call got pretty quiet. And the atmosphere was starting to settle in, and I was like by myself, and I was hiding from one of the family members, and I was like, "Ooh, this little slice of 10 seconds, this is pretty sweet. Like this would be a great solo experience, So yeah, the atmosphere is on point. I think one of the best things about the game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite thing.
Well, and then the thing that's cool too is what, I don't know, you guys weren't around for the beginning of Dead by Daylight, but that's kind of how people felt when DVD came out. It was like this atmosphere was really tense and really stressful. I don't think that's going to change with Texas Chainsaw because now DVD, you're never nervous. Who's scared when they play DVD, right? It's a fucking hide and seek, play tag.
Well, it's like once you've been on a gen for about 30 seconds, you go, it's quiet.
Yeah, exactly. It's all routine now, right? But I think that the way that Texas Chainsaw is designed and the way that they'll continue to add to the game, I think that they like that. It's got that whole like, it's so authentic to the actual original film, and it's so authentic to the vibe of like looming horror, right? And I don't think that's going to change. I think that they'll continue to make changes that keep the game, fresh and spooky, and like it's always going to be tense because even if you learn there are ways to like lose Bubba early in the game. There are, safe spots to go to, but even for the most part, like you get caught out, you're dead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
boy, do I know.
Yeah. Trust.
Yeah.
There's literally an achievement in the game for getting a kill in the first 30 seconds as Bubba. So yeah, they know. The devs know.
I've been killed, I think, in the first like 10 seconds of a game before. So yeah.
And that's great.
Unlucky.
It's great because because you don't have that in DVD. You'll never have that in DVD because the old Moris are gone. Like, you know, back in the day, you had that with the old Ebony Mori. You could kill somebody right off the jump. I got kills in under 30 seconds in DVD back in the day.
There are Skull Merchant games where I wish that was the case.
Real. Yeah. Bring it back. Bring anything back.
The opposite.
Suicide option in game, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Texas Chainsaw, I just think that it's going to continue to have that tense vibe because of the fact that you're so fragile and the game can end so quickly for you.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere, obviously, 10 out of 10. They nailed it.
Yeah,
especially the lobby music.
I also like how for victims, the gameplay loop basically has 3 stages. You got the basement. Everybody starts in the basement. So phase 1 is get out of the basement. Once the basement doors are unlocked, or you go up the ladder or whatever, then it's like spread out, find an exit to work on. That's like phase 2, and then phase 3 is like working on the final exit to get out of the map. And so I think that having that like clear progression of stages, whereas like in other games like Dead by Daylight, you know, you're just kind of cranking on gens until the exit gates are powered. So it's more of like a 90-10 sort of ratio in terms of the gameplay loop, as opposed to this where like you could spend equal amounts of time in the basement as you are out in the fields, you know, skulking around as you are trying to crank the exit gate to get out.
Well, it's an interesting way of looking at it because you know, you've got the basement, which is stage 1, obviously, and then stage 2 is like the main area, which tends to be where Grandpa is, where generally the family wander around there the most, which is where 2 of the tougher objectives are, right? That's where you'll find the valve and the pressure point to put it in, or the fuse box. Like that's how you can kind of reverse and like you can escape through the second stage or go back into the basement and get out the fuse door. Then stage
I've
3
yet to see anyone do. I've yet to see anyone do that.
I got 3 in a row yesterday. 3 fuse escapes. I told you guys, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I think I'm a fucking victim main in this game, dude. Like I love playing victim so much. Like,
I know.
Continue.
Anyways, the fuse escape. Fuse escape is very doable. Okay, it's very doable.
Yeah. And then stage 3 is obviously you've got the car battery side and the generator side, and that's kind of like the final point. We're in, you know, you can get caught out there just as much as anywhere else. It's great. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like the car battery escape is set to where it's like the easiest way to escape because you only need to unlock 1 door. So if you have like 1 tool, you're good, and if it's not trapped. But the punishment for that is that it's in a very unsafe area. So if they catch you trying to get out there, you can be in big trouble. So I just think that they did a great job of balancing this game for fun and not balancing it around competitive. Because again, I'm sure we're going to see comp teams that escape in under 4 minutes with the whole 4-man out kind of thing.
I mean, like,
eventually, but
we had those. I mean, I don't think the game we had enough Connies try to rush their way out.
Yeah,
and every single time they died.
Yeah,
like as soon as like a team knows what they're doing from the family perspective, when these people try to rush out and like I don't know, get a world record off for their escape, if you know what you're doing, they're dead, and they screw their team.
I did notice that Connie players tended to be the first one out when there's nothing really left to do for the family except look for people that are out, and then the Connie player dies more often than not. Yeah,
it's because like.
We're already stereotyping characters, man. This is
they're doing that technical test shit, though, aren't they? They're trying to just run out and be like, I get out, but it's not that easy anymore.
No, it isn't. Yeah, what do you guys think about the different Survivor players on that note? Because Connie seems to be the one that people rush with because she's got such a good lock picking skill. But what about the others?
I think they did a great job with that whole thing, and I think it's kind of cool. It just gives you like, one thing that DVD is really lacking on, I think, is killer experience. You have 35 unique killer experiences with different powers and different whatever, right? Survivor is literally it's like there's only one character on Survivor, and everything is skins.
It's a cosmetic, yeah,
everything is skins and perks, and so. You know, Survivor mains on that note do get shafted in the whole diversity and variety in the gameplay. But with Texas Chainsaw on both sides of the game, not only because again, even with DVD, when you play both sides, like you play killer for your diversity, and then on Survivor side, diversity is all based on what killer you get to go against. which is frustrating because if you don't enjoy the killer you're going against, then you're just in a gen sim and you want to go next. With Texas Chainsaw, each survivor, each victim is a unique experience. Like with Leland, you're getting bone shards so you can stun, and you get the shoulder check so you can save people, or you can save yourself. You know, with Connie, you're like, oh, I'm gonna try and get these. I'm gonna unlock every door in the basement so that we have, you know, later in the game we can drop down and get out. Like you set the game up for your team. You know, Sonny's got tracking.
When I play Julie, I tend to walk around trying to open up all the crawl spaces.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty stealthy, and then that way someone comes down there, it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Connie's already run out the door.
Yeah.
And now Johnny's in the basement with me.
Connie's out the door and she's dead next to the generator. Is what happened.
Exactly.
But it's just cool. It's a cool little niche, and I think that they're gonna, you know, because the way that the game is balanced feels like it's not that big of a change to go from like a level 0 to a level 10. Like there are obviously benefits to being leveled up on your victim, but for the most part, it's not like the difference between playing like a survivor perkless and like with a full meta loadout, in my experience, so far. Now game's been out for 2 days, so
give it some time. But I do agree. I think every victim feeling unique and having their own power set is really nice. Like my favorite thing about Julie is that when you use her power, obviously she can't be tracked by Johnny or the cook, but she also you can level her up in the constellation skill tree to like sprint for longer. So one now uses like 75% less stamina to run around, so you can like really get some distance against most, you know, some of the family members, which is really awesome. Though it plays so differently to when I have played Connie, and it's more about strategically thinking, where am I going to unlock the most important door to help people escape?
Yeah. There's there's a lot of cooperation on family side, but there's some things that you can do on the victim side too. Like we were doing some of that on Friday. We were
definitely
doing like what you get on the car battery, I'll unlock the gate, that kind of thing. Which there's some interesting cooperation to be had.
And then when like someone's running away, like because someone was distracted, usually it was like Sinnoh or something, or John, and then Doug would be like, I'll come shoulder barge him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think I knocked one so that John could open the gate at one point. Somebody I think it was John. That was really fun.
Yeah. So there's some cool little moments. I'm sure that we'll just keep discovering little synergies and little ways that you can help your teammates in the future. Maybe that'll help galvanize them a little bit. Although I hope not too much, because I kind of like how solo it is at the moment. I hope that kind of overall kind of persists as the dominant feel for that role.
I like that even when you are playing as a team, you can be left behind. You can, like the amount of times where you guys, I remember at one point, I think Sinnoh was like, all the lads together. I was like, no, we're not. I'm in the basement still.
Right.
I've been left behind.
Yeah. I think it took us a long time to get all four of us out at the same time, right? Like we kept on, like one person would always have to sacrifice themselves for the three. We were getting a lot of 3 outs, but then we finally got, like, I remember when we got our first 4 out, it was on like Family House. And we're like, we did it.
Yeah.
Poggers.
Doing that word twerk, that weird twerk teabag you could do at the exit door.
Yeah, real.
Yes. Yeah, I think our escape rate was pretty, like usually we had like 1 or 2 at least escape, and then that one time we had 4, obviously.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
We got a few 4 outs by the end, didn't we? We had a few.
Did we?
I think so.
We've had 2. I just remember the one. I remember the first time it happened. But a lot of times we would have 3. But it wasn't like it was easy. It wasn't like we were just like another 4 out, you know. We were, even though it was day 1 and a lot of the family members that we were going up against didn't know what they were doing. Like one time we loaded in and the family members just didn't, they left the car battery off or something like that. Or what was it that happened? Yeah.
Was that the time I turned it on?
Yeah, you turned it on. I just out of habit. Yeah. And then you had to turn it back off.
Sit there and wait. I think Sinnoh was like in chase for a long time.
Yes. But you know, even with that aside, like it's not like we were just like, oh, so easy, the Swift of my dreams, 4 out every single game. We were, people were dying to Bubba in the basement in the first 20 seconds. Every now and then, I'm raising my hand right now. Shit happens basically, and so there's like an element of chaos to it that I really appreciate.
Oh yeah,
as
definitely.
well about Victim.
I think it's a really good point that like even if you're a four-man victim squad, like you're not necessarily getting everyone out. Even if you're against 3 random solo queue family members, you're not necessarily all getting out. It only takes one fuck up, and then suddenly you're out in the open, and Johnny's stabbing the shit out of you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or you jump down to the well, and Bubba just happens to be staring right back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh no, there are some, dude. There are some who have tracked the easiest way. Like this is going to be a thing. People memorize like pinhead spawn points. There are family members that know exactly how to get directly back on your ass when you drop down, and it might be, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to. That's not a strength of mine, I should say.
Don't put yourself down, Doug.
I know. Instead of self-deprecating, I'll say it's not a strength of mine to like have spatial and situational awareness and like know maps very well. Like I kind of have a hard time with that. Like I still use navigation on my phone. Like when I drive places I've been to 100 times. Like I've always been.
I still do that to check which way's left.
Yeah, I've always been that way. So, but there are people that are very, very good at that, being able to. And I don't know if it's because of just RNG that they'll happen to have an easy route directly to the drop down, or if it's just they're almost always like that. But I've had situations where Bubba like chases me down a hole and I drop down and I have to do the recovery animation. By the time I'm up, he's there. Like he's like, I'm here again, and you're back dead. So that's kind of I don't know. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. It's people know the maps the least right now, and when they get to the point where they memorize them, like every well drop down, every every single little thing that's RNG in the game, the different spawn points where you spawn in as a victim, when those get memorized, it'll be interesting to see how the game changes.
Yeah. But anyway, so Victim, generally, again, the atmosphere is just superb. Gameplay's fun. Stabbing Grandpa.
Everybody loves stabbing Grandpa.
Stabbing Grandpa. I've yet to do that, actually. I don't get that bold. I'm sure at a certain point I'll just be like, fuck you, Grandpa.
Yeah.
And I'll just start doing that every game.
Even getting a chicken occasionally feels really good. Just be like, you know what? Shut up.
I've never used it. I've never used stabbing Grandpa like strategically, but I have when I'm the last survivor, the last victim standing, and I know I'm gonna lose. I'm like, I'm gonna get Grandpa before I go, dude. Like we're going. And I just go in there and stab him real quick and then die.
He's going down with
this is your final middle finger.
It's funny because again, like I've never been. I've always been sweaty. Like I always try to win, but I've never been like super. Like I don't think a lot. I just like play a lot, right? But I got people that come into the chat that are already like, oh man, you're gonna need to stab Grandpa. You're getting up too close. Like it's time for like they actually people use it strategically. Like when they get to Grandpa level 4 and 5, and you're like near the end of the game, you need to stab him to be able to like stealth, because he'll be able to just expose you all the time, right? So it's actually like a strategic thing you have to use if you want to survive alone.
We'll have to train our Swift to have an assassin.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody will do a YouTube video on how to effectively take out Grandpa's old ass so we can win, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
how to bully the elderly.
One thing too,
exactly.
I didn't pay too much attention to this because it only happened a couple times, but when the victims stab Grandpa, doesn't it like reset his blood?
Yeah,
it
drops his blood level, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can have there's perks that actually affect it more. So it says it affects the family members more as well. I don't know what that means. But I assume it just means it does more blood damage, but I haven't had a chance to play that perk yet. But
interesting.
We have a long ways to go on figuring out what all these perks do.
There's so many perks.
And then we're going to talk about this soon, right?
The perks,
the perks and the skill tree and the system with like random perks. It's just
there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to uncover.
But before then, shall we talk about family gameplay?
Sure.
Which I think is my favorite thing about the game. I love playing family.
I love playing family.
I just think it's so much fun.
Yeah. I'm a family man. No, I love playing all of them. There's 5 different family members you can play. I got to play as all 5 of them. Some I like more than others. Bubba's probably my least favorite. But I think they're all fun in their own ways.
I think I haven't played yet is Johnny.
Johnny's strong. He's
I think
he's strong. Yeah.
I've seen people saying that he's the strongest of them, and Sissy's like number 2.
That makes sense.
I have people in my chat saying they dodge Sissy lobbies because she's too strong already. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she is really good.
She is really good. So is Johnny. I mean, they've made strong. I mean, the 2 new family members off the tech test are very, very strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played anything but Leatherface. Because I was running with you guys and just letting people do. I was just starting in the basement, letting you guys do the rotating door.
Mhm.
And I will dive into all that. But at this point, I've played enough victim against these family members to be able to say that, like, yeah, I think it's Johnny and Sissy are S tier. Like, they're insane. Johnny's tracking is super strong, and once he's got you, unless you've got to drop down, you're fucking dead. Like, he kills you. Sissy,
Can he get through gaps?
I don't think so.
No, he can't.
Because I was trying to figure out, like, because Sissy's the one who climbed, like, she's like the hitchhiker, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
Sissy and Hitchhiker
and he's
can
more
get
like the
through
cook.
gaps. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly
But can
right.
he use crawl spaces?
No.
Or is he just like the cook?
No.
So he's just
He's just like he's a cook substitute, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
He's like aggro cook.
Mm.
Though.
Yes.
Like he can
He's so speedy
cook-
and swings so much and does so much damage.
Cook's
Yeah.
pretty easy to lose on his own if he's not teamed up. But Johnny can 1v1 you, and it feels bad.
It's Cook desperately needs a buff, I think. Like, I think people kind of had that feeling with the technical test when it was just 3 family members.
Yeah.
But now that there's literally a better Cook in almost every way, except maybe in tracking, I don't know. Johnny,
No.
I mean, they got to do something with him.
I just was laughing,
Especially because he's such a fan favorite.
I think
yeah.
I think that all it would take would just be to make when he tracks somebody, everybody sees it.
That's it.
I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know if when you, because like a lot of the abilities and perks, the more you level them up, you can choose that kind of thing. Because obviously, when the technical test happened, I said a ping system was needed. I still kind of think it is, but I believe like you might be able to level it up so that it does highlight for your teammates. I don't know though.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the abilities and perks I haven't looked too hard into because it's just going to take a while to earn them.
There's a lot to, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. Like, one that I haven't seen yet, and Doug, maybe you've unlocked this, was Bubba has an ability upgrade at level 3 where he instantly activates his chainsaw. And I've been really curious about that one. Because you don't need to rev it 3 times.
That'd be crazy, because like I see Bubba's walking around, and when they've not got the chainsaw, it's terrifying. So they can just walk up to you and go, and just, that'd be great.
Like, I haven't seen it in action yet. I assume they need to rev it 1 time still, but then it turns on. But that's huge, you know?
Yeah, I haven't unlocked that yet. That's the level 3 upgrade for the chainsaw. You have the three tracks you can take, and then they have like 3 levels.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The constellation.
I'm still on level 2, so
okay.
Again, I played family with you guys for like 9 hours, and then when everybody else left, I just went and played victim until I stopped. And then I've been playing victim. I've only played victim since day 1, off and on stream. What?
Yeah, it's
Stop. Just say it, Gary. You're just gonna make another joke about me being a victim.
Got nothing to say.
Yeah, okay.
You're paranoid, Doug. You're paranoid.
For the first time ever, Gary has nothing to say.
yeah. Right.
But yeah, Sissy's my favorite of the family members so far. She is. I love her poison like spray.
It's so good. It lasts for forever too. You can make it last for so long with
it does take a long time to like go away. I also like that at level 3, which I haven't got Bane to level 3 yet, but you can start poisoning lockpick toolboxes.
Yes.
And I just really want to do that.
Yes.
I'm quite eager to one of the car battery, like at some point I want to hide in the trunk next to it. And just wait. Just wait for someone to start turning it off so I can
I have not been able to get a hiding place to work with Sissy yet. Because it just seems better to patrol in almost every instance.
If you crouch her in grass, like I don't think they get the yellow warning, or at least not as close. Because I've used it a couple of times where I'm just like, surprise!
Oh, I just meant like hiding in a locker.
Oh no,
no,
I haven't got that to work at all. Because no one,
okay.
At the moment, I don't think victims really use them.
No, they don't. Yeah,
I don't think there's like because I don't use them when I'm playing victim. I think it's more effective to be around a corner because you can run. Because if you get caught, like it's not a big deal if you get caught. To be honest, there should maybe be more of a punishment. But it's like getting a locker in DBD. There's only really a downside where you can just hide around the corner where you can use your sprint burst. Like I don't know how you make that. Also, when you do get in a hiding spot, the paranoia thing, I don't quite understand how long I have until it kicks me out. So it makes me feel anxious. And I don't like it, which is good for what it's meant to be, but I don't get it from a UI perspective. I don't know what happens.
Well, also,
either.
when you get pulled out of a hiding space, like right if Bubba pulls you out, like you can just run away. Like,
Yeah,
he can't,
yeah,
he doesn't.
you
He
won't
doesn't.
take a hit.
Yeah, that's like it's not. It doesn't even really do anything for you other than pulling them out as family. Like doesn't really reward you at all. You just like,
I think you should at least get
I
stabbed
found
or
you.
something.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe like an automatic hit, right?
It should be that if Bubba grabs you, he should, when he picks you up and he can take you to a hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It should be that.
instant kill for
Yeah.
finding you hiding. I don't know about that. That's some Friday the 13th shit, Gary.
The game's full of there's insta deaths already, and there needs to be, but at the same time they need to incentivize hiding. Does it need head on?
Yeah, add a head on perk. That's what the game needs.
There is a head-on perk, isn't there?
Is there?
I think there is. Yeah, I was playing Family yesterday, and somebody got stunned from someone coming out of a hiding spot. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Did you just get stunned?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I didn't know that was in the game," but I didn't inquire
I need to know
further.
who that is, and that'll be my new victim main.
I mean, I think it's any of them. I think it's any of them because they have the same perks, right?
I don't know. I think the random ones can be like from across. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
but
I don't either.
I mean, we'll learn through time. Someone will make a YouTube video.
Yeah. I think that's but be like, are we going to move on to this? We're going to talk about progression and skill trees and loadouts.
Do you want to
and
talk
stuff
about
like
that now?
that?
Well,
I'm happy, yeah.
One
Do we
thing
have
I do
anything
want to
else?
mention about Family is I love the grandpa mechanic.
Oh,
Because
Grandpa's great.
I think it's perfect because from a victim perspective, the family going and getting blood for grandpa, going to and from grandpa, going to check on grandpa, that gives them something to use as a distraction on the victim side, so they can go unlock a door or turn off the car battery or something. Because otherwise, it would just be the family being like, "Where are those little shits?" the whole time, and that could be kind of like oppressive after a while. But I love the mechanic of grandpa because it's like, okay, family, it gives them something to do instead of just looking for victims, because sometimes the victims just hide too.
Yeah,
And from
and
a
I've
family
seen, and
perspective,
I've also seen killers just standing at doors. And it's like, well, they could just go
Exactly.
to grandpa, and then they're going to find people easier. Like,
Yeah. And then on the flip side, right, then you can't hold the game hostage as victim either, because if they just feed grandpa up to 5, they're going to find you.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. From a family
Yeah.
perspective, it's like if they just hide the whole time, like, well, we're just going to get level 5 grandpa. And then
I will also
it's
say,
over.
though, from a fucking salty perspective, I was playing Survivor. I was playing Victim yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was playing Connie, and I decided to use my power, my lockpick power on the basement to just. I was like, let's get this game moving. I'm gonna bop this door. I was gonna go for the battery escape. So I was like, I only need one unlock anyways. I'll just use my power now. So I was Connie. I grabbed 2 tools. I popped the door with my power, grabbed a tool, went upstairs. By the time I got upstairs, they were level 5 grandpa.
What?
yes,
On God.
on God.
I don't know how they did it.
There are builds where, for example, Sissy, she's the best at gathering blood. You
Yeah.
can go full in on her build, and she can hold like 140 blood at one time and get like 40 plus blood from each like barrel, each bucket.
Well,
so
and
she can
like
very quickly start leveling people up. If you've got like that and a cook, for example, I bet you can feed grandpa real fast.
And someone had died. Someone died to Bubba.
Oh, so yeah,
someone died. Someone died to Bubba, and he probably cashed in as well. And I think somebody else had taken a hit, but it was just one of those things that like they're probably an entire 3 stack just specced out for getting grandpa to level 5 ASAP.
Maybe
is my assumption. So we'll probably see a YouTube video about that soon.
Well,
or later.
yeah.
That would take 500 blood to get. So that would take them like 3 full deposits from each character, and then 2 more after that. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the buckets you can make builds that you can get a lot of blood from the buckets.
Yeah.
Like I've not built for it, and since he gets 30 odd from each bucket, so like I can find 4 buckets and that's 120 in.
Yeah, I
That's like a default, how much you can carry.
I perked out Bubba to be better at blood. Like he carries like 88 now instead, and he gets more per thing. Also, I think those perks apply to your whole team too. It's like the family collects more blood, right? So that's like everybody.
Oh shit.
And so if you all have perks that every family collects more blood, do they stack? Does it just like
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point then, because then you could have you could have, if they stack, you could have insane blood carrying, like potentially. I don't know the exact numbers, but imagine like stopping by 1 blood sack and you get like 100 blood.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I could be exaggerating slightly, but it was genuinely like I got out of the basement and I had to go get the tools, and then open the door, and then get another tool, and then get up, and then it's like by the time I was outside, it was level 5, and we were all screwed. Somebody was dead, and was like, "Wow,
That's crazy."
Like to the point that Chow was like, "Is this legit? Like, did somebody?
Right.
Is this like? We already have hackers? Like, how
That's
do
why
you level 5?
that's why you need an
fast?
assassin.
Yeah, exactly.
He's only level 3.
Somebody tell Sinnoh to make a fucking grandpa assassin video for YouTube, right? That's what we need. Family's great.
I agree. Grandpa's a fantastic design choice on their
One
part.
of the best parts of the game.
I was worried about him feeling a little boring to feed. I don't know if they adjusted it a little bit, but it feels great.
And I'm gonna give you guys the pumpkin spice latte take here though, because everybody's saying this, but they need to get rid of the animation for when Grandpa wakes up.
Oh
yes.
Yeah,
it interrupts gameplay. Like
it does.
If they want, and the animation is cool, and I like it, and it's a love
cinematic
song.
edition.
It's a love song to the original. Just put it in the top right corner. Give us a little square of it while we get to keep playing the game.
That's a good
Exactly.
idea.
Would be just fine. So you don't waste the animation. It's still there. It's still
you don't
great.
lose the intensity of an interaction where like Bubba just spots you and it's like, hang on 1 second, watch this cutscene. It's like
Grandpa's awake.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Well, I was in the middle of a chase right there, so
it can just be frustrating for both sides and frustrating just in general. And that's been a complaint since both sides.
Both sides.
It
also
can, family more.
It can be an advantage in a weird way because, like, if you're lockpicking a door, and you're near the bar where it's going to start making noise, the animation happens. You don't lose your progress, and it's obviously you can just like rush it out now. It's a little bit. Feels a little bit cheeky.
Really?
Yeah, suddenly it's recharged for you because your bar still goes down whilst the cutscene's going on.
Yeah,
it's a nice little advantage.
Yeah.
It's a small detail, but I just noticed it a couple of times. I was like, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
For me.
Fun for me, not for thee.
Yeah. But yes, okay, so the progression system.
Now, you know what? We've been all sunshine and roses so far.
It's all right. We can still talk about the maps if we want to go back to being sunshine and roses.
We've been all hugs and kisses, if you will.
Stop it.
Now.
Who wants to go first?
It sucks.
All right.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah, it's so when you talk
Wolf there.
Wes Keltner has been very active on socials talking about how they want to innovate, they want to do things different, they want to move the genre forward. And up to this point, everything we've discussed, they've done that in spades, and they've done an incredible job with them. They've nailed the execution. And I think what they were trying to do is avoid, because basically every horror asym, outside of Evil Dead, follows the same formula of level the character, unlock perks, equip the perks. Right? Prop Night has that system. DVD obviously has that system. Home Sweet Home has that system. You buy perks and apply them. And each of them have there are little eccentricities for each one. Like Home Sweet Home has the point system. VHS had the point system where you can't use all the most powerful perks. You have so many points you can use, and each one, and you get benefits for it being your perk. But Evil Dead innovated in this way. They have this insane perk system. It's insane build system where it's an entire page of just crazy stuff, and it's super deep. It's a super deep spec system. And so Texas Chainsaw kind of found a middle ground, I think, between the classic perk system and the Evil Dead, an entire wall of information. And so they have you doing this whole respec system. And so one thing I've noticed is that it's very quick and very easy to get your first character to level 10.
Yes.
And that seems by design. I think what they wanted was for people to be able to jump in, level up fast, and have somebody that they could play at a competitive level. They wanted people to be able to you didn't want people to be babies forever, right? For a long period of time. And the grind is long, right?
Yes.
And
so once you get to level 12, you really start to feel the slowdown in earning experience and getting more skill points.
Right.
Yeah, they really skull merchant you there.
They really do. Yeah, that's actually real.
I've just been skull merchant.
Yeah. And
so basically where you're at is you get to play your character, but you can respec at any time and you refund all your points. So you can, if you've invested a few hours in the game, you can play any character of the game at level 10. You can just respec and do it.
Just as a small caveat to that, you can only respec if you select that character to respec.
Yeah.
So if someone chooses to be Connie and that's your main, and you'd like to not go in with like nothing, tough.
Yeah.
Your best thing to do is
Yeah.
to exit the lobby and then respec and then go back to the lobby and respec every time.
Yeah, which is frustrating because then that's what I was gonna say too. Is like the concept is great, but the execution sucks because like if I main Leland, which I main Leland, and I get into a lobby and someone else has Leland selected, I'm just SOL. I can't if it like the concept conceptually, we'll just respec and play a different character. Well, I can't though because I can't respec him without selecting him. So I'm just SOL in this lobby. I have to play as no one. So what I ended up doing is respecking Bubba down to get his points back, and I spec'd out Julie, so I have 2 victims now. But like that's not even a fix because sometimes I go in and somebody's already got Leland and Julie selected, and I'm like, okay, well now I'm going to request a trade, and neither one of them wants to do it because those are their mains, and they're the same account level as me roughly, so they don't have another person leveled up. So yeah it's a little frustrating in that like you're not able to respect on the fly.
Yeah. And it also, for me, pardon me, is it maybe blowing its load a little early where like you get this it feels really good at the start, but you're leveling up a lot. And then the grind really starts to chug and it doesn't feel good to level up anymore. Like I'm not enjoying the grind.
Well,
it's not giving me, the good vibes.
Okay, so when you had the leveling system in Evil Dead, you got spirit points for your character, like playing matches, and you leveled up that way. And then every time your account level went up, you got a fuck ton of spirit points, like a huge chunk. And that felt so rewarding because you would hit an account level and you're like, boom, I'm about to get like 10 levels on a character, like, right? And you don't get that in Texas Chainsaw. Like you literally get a level and it's like, I have 5 points that I can spend.
Yeah.
And 5 points is like nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the max amount of points to get a character to level 10 is 50. If you get 5 points, but you're leveling once every few hours. Like,
and that's an hour point. Imagine when you're like level 30 to 40.
Yeah. I mean, how much harder is it going to get? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that the mistake here is that each level, the difference in XP between each level goes up exponentially. So like the distance between levels 7 and 8 is like way less than levels 14 through 15. And so it's like, yeah, I'm thinking about like, oh, what's going to happen when I get to level 30? If I ever make it there, like how much is the gap going to be? And this is one of like the biggest, I think, in my opinion, violations of like a cardinal rule of multiplayer games, which is that, you want to see number go up when you're playing. And when it comes to account level, frankly, you're not really seeing number go up once you get past 12 very often. Like when you get to level 18, 19, 20, and there's like, 20,000 experience in between the levels. Well, if you play family and you get a 4K, you might get 2,000 points.
Yeah.
So you got to get like 10 wins as a family member. It's like good quality wins to get one account level up. And that's going to take a lot of time, especially with all the matchmaking issues. We'll get into that separately, but that's just it's not often enough. Well, what they should have done is they should have broken it up into smaller chunks so that you could still have the progression the way it is, but have the levels not be further and further apart, have them be a set number, and so that you can still get more frequent level ups and you can get that serotonin boost.
Especially because, I mean, I'll let you talk in a second, Doug. The perk leveling up system is also very grindy, but I'll let Doug say his point.
Oh first. Yeah, I've ran the same 3 perks on Leland. I have 1 maxed and 2 that are level 2. They're not even maxed out yet. What I was gonna say is it's another one of these like, and this is very common in the horror asym genre. It punishes solo queues so much more than people that are playing with friends. Because if the 3 of us get on, who do you want to play? And I respec and I get set up. We get set up ahead of time. Like, okay, I'm gonna be Bubba, so I'm level 10. I'm gonna level him up. You guys are going to play your character.
And we're going to get more points because we're coordinated.
Exactly.
And we're going to win.
Exactly. Right. So we're going to probably win. We're definitely going to win more than we lose. And so you can set it up ahead of time. Same thing with victim. If we're playing, like, which victim are we going to play? Well, I play Leland and Gary plays Julie and, John plays Connie or John plays whoever John. I don't know who John plays on victim, if I'm being honest, but point being.
Anna, right?
Who's your victim?
Anna?
We played victim for like 5 hours. I played Connie.
Oh, you were a Connie.
I thought it was Connie. I said Connie, so my lizard brain picked it up. I just didn't commit it to memory because I think about food a lot, you know?
Don't
So,
we
like,
all?
Yeah, don't we all? So it's one of those things where we set up ahead of time. So it was never a problem for us while we're playing together because we're always going to play the same character. But when you go into solo queue, like I said, I was solo queuing last night on stream for hours, and it was like there were a lot of games where I'd go in with like a level 0 Anna or a level 0 Sunny because people had already insta-locked Leland and Julie, and I don't have anybody else leveled up.
Yeah.
And that feels bad because not only, like, yes, progression is on your account level, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting something out of this, but it's like, it'd be really nice to be leveling up my individual perks as well. Like,
Yes.
Leland is my main. I'd like to max him out, you know?
Which, if I can go in on the perk leveling up system a little bit harder. So not only is it like you finish a match and the XP kind of goes up just a little bit, and sometimes I think you get more experience points for using the power, but for some of them I don't understand how I do use them to get more experience points. Like some of them, there's one that makes me move faster as a family member, but I do less damage. And I'm hitting the shit out of victims, but it's not getting any more experience points. You know, I'm definitely using the perks. So it's just going to take a long time to get to level 3. And then once I do get to level 3, it feels like really unrewarding to have it finished because now I'm not getting anything for the perk I've got there. Like there's just nothing to level up there.
Yeah.
And the worst bit is if I play another family member or same thing on the victim, that level 3 that I've got on Sissy's perk isn't on Bubba's. If I get that perk again on Bubba, it's not level 3. That's level 1. So I've got to grind that up as well. And it's like, so even if like getting it to level 3 was like this prize of like, oh, at least all of them are level 3 on that now. Because it took me ages to get it. So at least all of them can now use that perk. They can't. If I get it on another one, I've got to do it all again. And it's just really deflating. And it's not, and don't get me wrong, like grindcore makes or breaks these games. Dead by Daylight has a huge grindcore element of people P100ing now and etc. etc. VHS had a lot of grind in it. Evil Dead the game, there's loads of grind. It makes or breaks these games. It's how MMOs run. But this one just doesn't feel very. The user experience on it. It doesn't make me feel good to do it.
Yeah,
it feels like the destination is so far in the distance that it's not making me want to do it.
Yeah,
you get short-term payoff day one, and then after that, it's just like such a long grind. And I hope that they adjust it too, because like you said, Gary, there are 2 full pages of perks. And so if you're a completionist, you're somebody that wants to complete all the perks and level them all up. You have to do that by playing with those perks on every character. And like, I've got 23 hours in the game, and I think I've maxed out 2 perks so far.
Yeah.
Overall, out of the 50 perks that are in the game.
Yeah. I kind of wish the perks were faster and your power was slower. Because like I've got like my Bane power on Sissy level 2. It's approaching level 3, I think, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind that taking a bit longer if the other perks were just a bit quicker. Because I'm not going to be leveling up my overall level and getting more skill points. At least my perks could be going, zzz, it's level 2 now, you're now better. And then that, like, they did their metagame bit, like, stream about how am I ever going to have the perks ready to make a build if it's going to take me, like, 100 hours to get all of them to level 3 so I can start playing around with them a bit more freely. And that's on each character. I don't know, it just doesn't feel very good to me at the moment.
To me, this is like, this is what I meant earlier when I said like this game released a lot less fully featured than I would like.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there's actually not that much progression to be made. They just artificially inflated the time between getting upgrades by 1,000,000%.
Maybe.
Because one thing that I was shocked by was how quickly that you got to like level 10 on a character. I was like, oh, so I'm already maxed on Connie? That took like no time at all. But then I was like, oh, well, if you really want to max her though, you gotta max out these perks. You gotta, do all this extra stuff, and that's gonna take a ton of time. If you want to get more levels on other people, that's gonna take a ton of time. You gotta get that account level up, and there's not really a whole lot of like overall progression compared to a lot of other games that have much more fulfilling long-term goals. Like, what's the long-term goal with Texas Chainsaw in terms of progression? Because I kind of like, if
I play it for a billion hours, you can make a build.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like that's your reward, is that you can you have the flexibility to make a build on like one character. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that should be more of like an early mid game type of progression, not like the end goal. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really disappointed, I think, in like the progression and the features. 'Cause I consider progression to be a feature of the game, and There's that. I don't know if you guys saw on the main menu. There's like there's some unlocks for like photos, like behind the scenes photos of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
which is
movie.
really cool. I do
Which
like
is what-
that.
It is cool, but that's like it in terms of
Why are you
unlocks. You
laughing
know
at
what I
me?
mean?
I mean,
it's
it's just the way
it's cool.
It's cool, but like it's not as funny.
Well, but,
I thought it was
like, you
funny.
know-
It's just funny. It's not bad. I agree with you. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, well, it's just
John
like,
makes me
okay,
laugh, Gary. Don't get jealous, okay?
For example, like in the DVD
really-
tomes, right? Like you grind out those DVD tomes, you get those little cutscenes. I mean,
Yeah.
who really cares about those cutscenes? You know,
John,
Some
I
of
thought
them
you
are
were.
well
I thought
made.
you were the lore guy, though. I thought
Yeah,
you
you
were
are.
all about
Yeah.
like
You are
Not
a
even
lore
I care
guy.
about those cutscenes.
you're our lore guy.
No, but like those little audio logs and stuff, it's just like it's nothing, right? It's just like that's kind of how I feel about those behind the scenes little images. Just it's not something that really affects the game. If I'm unlocking stuff, I want it to be something that I can use in the game or that affects the game somehow. And TCM is very little of that.
To give it 1+ for like the progression, I do like unlocking the cosmetics.
Yeah,
Like
And
through just playing.
they had
that
a
was
neat
kinda
neat
cool.
way too. 20 games gets you to your max cosmetic upgrade, which is pretty reasonable.
That is cool. I do have a problem with that too, though, because if you look at the family cosmetics, the only one that has any is Bubba. None of the
Yes,
other
yeah.
family members have upgradable cosmetics. You just have the default. And it's frustrating too because you look at the victims, and the victims have like 4 or 5 each usually, I think.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of palette swaps, and like sometimes you get a little different design on the butt or whatever, and that's fine. But I kind of wish that it's one of those things like, I wish that this game had launched with a bit more of like a like what happens if you play Connie 100 times, 200,
Yeah.
like something to work for.
That's more the grind that I want.
Exactly. Yeah, because you play a character 20 times and you're like, well, I've unlocked all the cosmetics
'Cause-
there are now.
If Dead by Daylight has proved anything, you don't need to give the player anything really for them to want to grind, except number go up. I'm P100.
Exactly.
Vom Jin.
Yeah,
Right.
Cares? It gives me
Yeah.
nothing except
It gives you
dodged
nothing.
occasionally or tunneled.
Yeah.
Like,
At least in Prestige on DVD, you get like a different icon though.
yeah.
Like that's
and it makes a
something.
nice sound
It's-
effect when it happens. And it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just jump in just to shit talk the progression system just a little bit more when it comes to the respec thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the skill tree is hidden.
yeah.
Because the first time I get it, when I'm discovering it, cool.
Oh yes,
But when,
I know what you mean.
but
yeah.
when I put all my points into it,
yeah.
it should unlock it all. Because
You're right.
why do I have to rediscover? Why do I have to respec 5-6 times just to find everything?
And you're doing
What's the
this
point?
all. And you're doing this all in the 3-minute lobby while people are spamming ready on ready in the back.
Yeah,
Sort of like
yeah.
shouting at me down the thing. It's like, why just not just have it all appear? I know in the metagame stream they kind of spoke about like the fun of discovering things, and you have that the first time, but once I respec, I'm just spending my points 5 times so I can see everything. It's like
Yeah.
a weirdly
yeah.
pointless feature.
Well, and then to pile on to what you're saying, Gary, the concept of having random perks be a thing. Like you just get a random perk. Like that's weird. I don't like that. Like
No.
that's kind of a carryover from Friday the 13th's progression system. They had like the perk rolls where you use your points to roll.
Yes.
And you get a random perk at a random rarity, and that was kind of fun and cool. And it kind of made sense in that game a little bit more, I think. I think that's a 2017 feature, man. Like I don't think that's a good 2023 feature. Like people want to level up, they want to build their characters out, they want to get builds on their characters they like to play. Like, can you imagine if DBD had like a random perk wheel and you're like, oh man, I sure hope I get fucking botany knowledge. Like I just
Oh yeah,
Right.
I agree because
Really wanna do a healing spec.
what it's going to force people to do is respec. They'll build their thing and go, no, I didn't get the perk I need for my build. I'll respec again.
Respect
Yeah.
again. Yeah, I know.
And it's like, is that?
And then
fun?
here's the thing too. Can I ask
I'm
you
sure
a
there's
question?
someone who finds that fun, but
I'm sure there is. There's a question I have to ask though, Gary. If you do you know if you level a perk up to like level 2 and then you respec, does it stay level 2 if you pull it?
it stays leveled
It
up.
does,
It
yeah.
stays
Okay.
leveled up on
Okay.
that character. Yeah.
So at least there's that,
I tested
right?
that when I got onto level 3. I was like, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
risk it, and then it
Yeah.
was still level 3. So I was like, okay, so once it's leveled up, it's leveled up. That's fine
Yeah.
Okay.
on that character.
And unconfirmed, but I had somebody in my chat tell me that they don't know if it's bugged, but they said they get the same perk every time they roll a random perk on Bubba. They went to a random perk.
Maybe it's not random and it's a surprise one. Maybe they aren't random. Maybe it's more like a you click on it.
But if that's the case, then where are the rest of the perks? Because there's 2 pages worth of perks.
Right.
And
I don't know if every character gets access to every perk. That might not be the case.
And
that may be part of their balancing technique to be like, okay, well, Bubble would be a bit broken if he had this, so we don't let him have it.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to learn more about it, I think.
The TCM wiki people need to get on this ASAP.
Yeah, get us a fucking...
Where are the YouTube videos? Where are the YouTube videos?
Sinnoh! Build videos!
Explain this to us.
Teach us, Kanpai. Kanpai is not even a title, isn't it? It's like a
I think it's Senpai, right?
No.
Kanpai means cheers, right? Yeah. Or something.
Oh, bro, come on, man.
Tell us in the comment section below.
Yeah, someone's gonna fucking shred me. There goes my co-host application, dude. I just lost a supporter or 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we agree the progression system.
It sucks. I mean, it's just there's no 2 ways about it. And again, I think it would be okay if the game was only like a group game, right? But because solo queue exists, it's like it really punishes solo.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how when having the perk go like just a little bit every time I play, I'm like, I just want to give up.
I know it seems almost entitled for us to be like, the game's been out for a few days and we're like, make it faster. But like the problem is that we know we're grinders. Like 23 hours, I've put 23 hours in the game. Your average player is not going to be able to put that in a game in a week.
Casuals are not going to stick with the game. We need them. We need them desperately to stay.
Yeah,
right. We can't have them getting bored right after they hit level 12 when the game's just really starting.
Exactly.
Especially when they already have 500, 1,000 hours in Dead by Daylight where they have everything that they want. Like we want to keep them playing other ASIM games.
Yeah. There needs to be something to realistically work towards, to be like, I can accomplish this goal, by the end of my play session. I can accomplish this goal, next weekend. I can accomplish this goal next month. They need to have some kind of thing that they can lay out of like, here's a short-term goal, here's a mid-term goal, here's a long-term goal. And right now they're all long-term goals once you hit level 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
like I think I'm level 18 now and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And the game already has like a punishing experience for a casual because as victim you can just get rocked, right?
Yeah, you can end the game like I said, in 20 seconds and then end the game with 50 points and like, well,
I think the worst I've seen is a sissy that got 55 points, and I have no idea.
Dude,
John, as a family member,
John and I were playing. No. John and I were playing with a Johnny who got 0 points the entire game until he stole John's kill at the end of the game.
Oh my God.
He literally scored 0 in the entire game, and then I don't know.
He was literally walking around. He wasn't even sprinting. He was walking around.
And then,
walking menacingly.
And then at the end of the game, John's killing the last dude, and then Johnny walks up and just knifes him and gets whatever the kill points are. That was his entire score.
That's one thing I'd like to see them add. Actually, is a point like a number go up. I would like to see when I heal myself, plus 50 points appears.
Yes, that would be great.
I want to see that too.
Or something.
I want to see that too. Gimme.
I hate to bring back this tired comparison because people were doing it all weekend, but it's another thing that I just a little thing I appreciate from DBD. And it's just like those little scoring events is like, hey, you did this. It's like, I did something. TCM's in sore need of something like that.
It does, I will say, DBD's really good from a user experience perspective when, when you finish, you get a great skill check. You hear a nice little sound effect, and you go 300 points. Oh, sweet. Yeah, and you get off the generator and it goes, you've maxed gen points. You're like, oh, sweet, I'm just going to get into chases now. I've got loads of points.
I'm doing so good on gens. Yeah.
Because at the same time, of course, I got to be the boomer, the guy that yells at clouds and be like, well, it wasn't always like that back in 2016. We were like, what the fuck's going on?
It's come a long way. And this is day 3 of the game being out.
Fix it now!
DBD has 7 years of, improving the game. But at the same time, that is 7 years of, they've been developing it. Why would they not? Why have lessons not been learned?
Right. Why wouldn't they look at that as be like, for our game,
we'll
take that.
Because VHS again had a lot of good UX stuff put into it. It felt good to play that game. Getting points. It learned a lot of lessons from Dead by Daylight.
I do think that we've been very complimentary of Wes and Gunn for a lot of reasons, but I think one of the things that maybe they maybe is like a weakness is like they're almost desire to be different.
They do
some
not
ways.
want to be DBD.
I think that they get
right.
very defensive when they're compared to DBD. They get very defensive about the concept of if you don't like DBD, if you don't like our game, don't fucking play it. Go play DBD kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's their
right,
attitude,
right.
which I can understand. Like having your game compared sucks. Like when I released Night Blights, the Five Nights at Freddy's comparisons, it's like whatever. But I did take lessons from Five Nights at Freddy's and other horror games in the genre. Like I did learn lessons from them. So when people say, "Oh, it kind of reminds me of this," I'm like, yeah, like if. Yeah, I took inspiration from other games, and I do feel a little bit like they might have been like, we will be nothing like DBD. Even if it's like a good thing that doesn't hurt to have.
But they also can't act like they got no inspiration from DBD. DBD is like
it's
like the fucking foundation of horror asym, right? So like, you know, you guys, it's okay if you're not copying DBD if you give us little fucking dopamine hits of how many points we got when we get a lockpick, right? Like you're not the same game. You're so different. You're so different. You're not like other girls, Texas Chainsaw. You're different. Now, please give us more.
Like I think, that would be the only thing. Because I think from a gameplay perspective, it's a very different game. I love it. I love how different it is.
Yep.
But just some of the things that has taken behavior 7 years to like get right into DBD, can't hurt to just pinch a few of them because they're not like they're allowed.
I agree.
It's all just user experience stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let them do the work. You know, with stuff. It was just it's mostly just with quality of life stuff. Like, look at what DBD does. You don't have to take the gameplay. We want different gameplay for TCM. We like the unique gameplay that TCM has. But just in terms of, like, quality of life stuff, like progression and features, like DBD's got it on lock. They've got 7 years of rooting out the stuff that doesn't work, adding in stuff that people have requested. You've got an automatic cheat sheet there to look at.
Yeah. It just can't hurt to take some inspiration from other games.
Yeah.
Speaking of quality of life stuff, I do want to shit talk one little bit that disappointed me to say.
Matchmaking? Are we gonna talk about matchmaking?
No, we'll get to that.
I mean,
I want to talk about the tutorials.
What tutorials?
What tutorials?
I was so disappointed to see just more videos, and it's like
I skipped them. Man,
oh, yeah, I didn't watch them.
I couldn't be bothered, and like I should have watched them because I came back off the tech ice cold, and I played really shitty at first, forgetting how the game works. But yeah, nobody wants to sit and watch a video that explains how the game works. Like, give people a tutorial they go in and play.
Like last year, for all its being rubbish, the tutorial was very long but very comprehensive.
Last year had an announcement recently. By the way, we'll talk about this next week.
We're closing down.
No, there's stuff coming. Stuff's coming, dude.
Evil Dead had an amazing tutorial, I thought.
Oh, Evil Dead had one of probably the best, actually.
A very good tutorial. And it didn't last that long either. I mean, it was like, it took you along a path of like, you'll need this, and this. Yeah. Try it out, see how it goes. And yeah, it was perfect.
Here's the basics. This is how you get through a crawl space. This is a wall in the gap in the wall. This is, how you kick the generator. This is how you disable one of Hitchhiker's traps. Like, just 10 rooms, 15 rooms, 20 rooms, I don't care. Just that you walk through, and then it's like, right, you know what all these things mean now. Family, this is how you can do this, and just...
Yeah, I think a lot of gamers are people that learn by doing.
It's not just gamers, videos, it's all people.
Well, yeah, most people, that is their learning style, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, certainly, I learn by doing. So, I mean, I started watching those tutorials just to see what they were like, and there's so many of them. There's like 20 of them. There's like 10 for each role, or even more, I think. And I got about like halfway through the family ones, and I was like, you know what? I'll just go in. I'll learn faster that way. And I think it's a mistake not to have a gameplay tutorial.
Yeah. Well, I did a teaching qualification, and one of the main lessons they teach you is get your students to do things. There's no good just saying things to them. They won't learn anything. You got to get them doing it. You got to get them to write it down. You got to get them to like do it in class.
Right.
And the same with video games. Like, you need to make your player do the thing to get them to want to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed to see just a bunch of videos.
Well, some of the videos, some of them didn't even show what they would be talking about in the subtitle. Like I said, I watched a lot of them. I watched like 8 or something like that. And, some of them were more detailed than others, but some of them, like the subtitle would be talking about like an ability that one of the characters had. And then the video wouldn't even be showing that. And the subtitle wouldn't say like what button you had to press to do it or anything like that. So I was like, well, I'm not gaining anything from this. That's about the time I decided to turn it off. I was
But
like, you're just basically like, there's an ability that some character will use. We're not gonna tell you how to do it or what it looks like, but just be on the lookout. And I was like, I'm just gonna dive in now.
Yeah, and I would say like one of the biggest bits of feedback I saw from the technical test was people saying like, tutorial?
Yes.
I don't know how to play your game.
Right.
So it's kind of surprising to see them not amend that in some, at least a small way.
Yeah.
It's like first impressions in asymmetrical horror are huge. Like they're huge in any video game, right? But especially in games like this where people are very jaded and don't really want to give your game too much of a chance before writing it off, as we saw with a lot of tweets this weekend. And well, I'm going to maintain an opinion I had from the technical test was I didn't think that was a very good first impression of the game. You know, no tutorialization, just throwing you in, no progression or anything. I thought it wasn't the best showcase of the game. And then now that the game's fully launched, and I'm like, this isn't the greatest way to show people, you know, how to play either by just tossing them into a public match or watch a bunch of videos. It's not a good option to have.
Actually, just reminded me something, which I think Doug might want to talk about in a bit of detail, because I know he's got strong opinions about it. So the MMR situation.
I don't know, man.
It's only been out a few days, but I've already started to notice the MMR gap. And
yeah, I mean,
and with the way the progression system is, I'm very worried that, you know how Evil Dead, or most of these asym games that don't like have a good MMR system necessarily, you know how when a new player jumps in and they get put against good players that have leveled up, they've got their perks, and then they just get destroyed and then they lose interest. I worry that new players to the game in the future, you know, give it 2 weeks when people have grinded to level, you know, 12, 20, they've got characters that they've got all the perks for, level 3, and you're a new player, you're a level 0 Sunny, and you're going up against 3 level 10 family members that have level 3 perks and their power's level 3. Like, what's your experience going to be like? How's the grind going to feel when the deck is stacked against you? Because there's no MMR. You're going up against potentially the new players, but potentially the best of the best.
Yeah, we were able to suss out pretty easily when we were playing family. Like you'd see the victim lobby fill up, and it's like account level 0, account level 3, account level 4, and we're like, oh, these guys are new. You know, and then you get in with
we're all new at the moment, technically.
But I mean, like they're new relatively. And then you get lobbies where it's like they're level 13 and 15, and they've got the Swift logo above, and it's like, okay, this is going to actually be a challenging game. You can kind of suss it out. I don't know yet. I don't know how I feel about whether MMR should be in the game. I mean, I think it needs to be eventually. It's day 3. It's kind of hard for me to. I mean, I think even just like a baseline of it not queuing you up with anybody under level 10 once you're past level 10 might be a good way to like get people started.
Yeah, that could be a good system. Yeah,
that could be a good start.
Or I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas, but the point being, like, I think what we need to do is protect the babies from going up against fucking Alucard, Sahinki, and Swing Point out there. Those guys are they're awesome and they're having fun with the game, but like those guys are going out there and they're like optimizing shit and like
I always think of mine and John's experience with Nosgoth when we hit the real players and it just
because again, I was solo queue last night. How do you think my teammates felt when we got out of the basement and they hit level 5 Grandpa and we just got slaughtered?
Right.
Like, they just got a 3 stack, walked up and killed us each individually because they knew where we were. You know, and that's
if you get matches like that 2 or 3 in a row, you might be like,
you know,
I'm going to play something else.
I think this is a really important point to hit too, because I would argue that this really hurt games like VHS and why the player count dipped considerably for that game.
I think it's what killed VHS, like from a player base perspective, was the squads.
Right. Well, this is something that players can have a bit of control over. You know, I'm not saying that if you get babies in your lobbies that you need to throw, right? But like, I'll use an example. Yesterday I played with Lynxie and King, and we were about like 16, 17, 18 level. And we got 4 victims that were all account level 0. All of them. Solos. Not in a squad. They were all brand new, fresh installed. First game. And we were just like, okay, well, we'll take it easy on them. So, you know, we had fun. We still 4K'd, obviously, because, like, it was impossible not to, frankly. But we gave them some fun moments. Like, there was one moment where we were chasing an Anna, and she just in the grass right in front of us, and we pretended that she lost us, you know. Just little moments like that. Yeah, it doesn't hurt, you know? It doesn't hurt you to do little things like that. If they're
Which does
clearly
lead into that
baby-
party game vibe they kind of want. So...
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt you at all to just, like, not throw the game, but just, like, let them get out of the basement. Don't have all 4 victims just, like, die in the basement right off spawn. No one's impressed with that, and you don't even get that much points from it as family. So just, like...
You probably get more for chasing them in and out of the wells and basement and stuff, right? Because
just let them see some of the map at least. Let them walk around and figure things out, because there's no tutorial for
let
the
them
game.
see the sights.
Let them get just like that's what I'm saying. I was like, let's at least let them get out of the basement. Holy shit, because, but yeah, I mean, they're never gonna learn unless they get to that point in the game's process anyway. And if they're just queuing up and just dying in the basement to a level 20 Bubba over and over and over again, you know, they're gonna be like, well, this sucks. I'm out.
Yep.
So I think it's a responsibility a little bit of the players to, like, you know, if you don't want this game to go like all the others have gone, you know, just play to your opponent a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I don't think it's going to happen though. And that's the problem, is that, like, and that's why I was from the beginning was like, we need some sort of at least soft MMR system, is that, like, people are going to say, well, you know, the sweaty 3-man family teams are not there. It's the same argument as DVD with Swifts. They're like, well, it's not that common. Sure, it's not that common, right? But at the same time, it's probably a little more common than you think, A, and B, I mean, it's just like a coin flip, right? You can flip a coin 10 times in a row and get heads 10 times in a row. If there's a possibility that you could pull a 3-man death squad once, you can do it 5 times in a row. And is 5 times in a row enough for a person to say, I'm never fucking playing this game again? This is the least fun I've ever had in my life, right?
Yeah, I think DBD, I mean, this is what we were talking about with the solo queue experience is very different in Texas Chainsaw. DBD it caters to solo. Like, you can go play solo killer, you can go play solo survivor, and it's not the end of the world sort of thing. I feel like Texas Chainsaw is going to be much more that party game where I'm going to be like with my friends, do you want to play this? Because DBD I can play on my own, but like I want to play TCM with you guys. I want to play family. I think we're going to see a lot more Swifts, a lot more people playing with their friends. So you're more likely to see those pre-mades, I think. Exactly,
because with the built-in voice chat, with the way that playing with a pre-made helps with the progression system not being so oppressive, like, it's better to play the game with people. And you know me, I'm a solo game. I mean, we're really
fun.
We're all solo guys, right? We're all solo streamers.
Yes.
We stream DVDs, solo queue. I mean, we do sometimes Swift together, but for the most part, our content is solo content, solo survivor, killer content. And with Texas Chainsaw, it's like you almost feel like, for the first time, and in my ASIM career, I feel almost like pressure to play with people to make the experience a little bit better. That's why I prefer Victim to family, I think. That's something I haven't really thought through, but like that's I think that's why I play so much Victim, because the Victim solo experience feels a lot better than the family solo experience does.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure I'm going to play the game on stream solo.
Oh, I think
I'm gonna do it for like a special, like, I want to get my friends together and play it together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a feeling that a lot of players are gonna have. Which is good. Like, I think that's a really good vibe to have. It has a very different feel to the game, which is good.
And that'll keep the game alive. That'll keep the game. That'll help the game. It will help the game overall, because we know what is the small streamer's favorite thing in the world to do. Right? It's get a group of small streamers together, playing together in a lobby, making content. And that's not a dig or a mod. That's literally what they do. Like, this 80% of the directory of DBD is SwiftCom's, you know, streamer TTV lobbies.
Yeah.
It's a ton of people, or people that are not all TTV, but they group up with friends. Like, they like that. And that's going to be really good for Texas Chainsaw, because that'll be good content. That'll be good content they want to make. Right?
Yeah.
It'll keep the game going. Because they haven't really had that. That wasn't a very good Evil Dead perk. There was no big perk to grouping up with your friends and streaming Evil Dead.
No, that's very true, actually. Yeah. Evil Dead, it didn't, if you were in a group, it didn't really help you. You still swinging mindlessly.
Yeah, you're just playing it versus AI and getting annoyed by the demon, right? And that's, which again, I love the game. That's not
the only thing you can rely on is you go, okay, at least my teammates will drive on the road.
Real, unless it's me driving. But yeah,
and then you drive us into a tree in the middle of the forest. And it's like, oh damn it!
Why isn't Sinnoh driving? Yeah. So, and yeah, I think that speaks a lot to Texas Chainsaw. Just like, I think this is a thing we haven't really talked about today, but have mentioned a lot. A lot of people have mentioned in my chat that it's a good viewer experience on Twitch. Like they enjoy watching the game.
That's
the game
good.
is fun to watch, which is important.
Well, yeah, I think it's that chaos that we were mentioning earlier. I think it's the chaotic aspect of it. It's kind of like that same sort of feel that I think viewers got from Friday the 13th, which was also a massive success from a stream perspective. Like that game popped off, and I think this has that similar like it factor in that sense. It's really fun to watch, and there's not too much. It's not really bogged down too much by like a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo like a lot of other games can get bogged down with. You know, like even DBD. You know, it's just like, oh my God, he's running borrowed time. He's running that hard. You know, there's all these terms you got to learn. TCM, it's like a free for all right now.
I would like, as another feature that they could maybe pinch from DBD, I would like it that if at the end of the match, if I could see what perks people had.
Yes, I would love that.
Because I keep getting like,
I wonder.
You know, I'm like going, oh, how did that Bubba find me? I'm pretty sure he's got a perk or something that helps him find people. Because it's happened a couple of times now. But I don't know because I can't see anything, and I haven't leveled up Bubba, so I don't know.
I will say on that note, I wish the end result screen had like way more stats. Like, you know how Evil Dead at the end result screen
has time spent in the basement.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it has so many stats so you can look at and be like, this is how much damage they did. This is how much healing they did. You know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, this game could have all sorts of stats, but they just have score right now.
I'd be so good to be able to see like who got out of the basement first.
Yeah, I would love to see it like in like you said earlier, scoring events. Like they could have ways to track these and add
although I do know that in the meta discussion they really want to avoid anything that makes it feel like there's leaderboards or competitive edge. So then maybe that's another thing they don't want to like make people go, I need to optimize my score at the end so that I'm the top of this. They might want to avoid that because I think I know they want to establish this party vibe to it. They made that quite clear in their stream. I rewatched it today. But
they've already got total score showed. I feel like that's what people would care about. But like, you know, gamers like us, you know, we were like, how many times did I stun them with the door? You know, stuff like that. Like, I'd love to see little things like that.
Well, they have a stat.
I'd like to see the stats.
There's a stats page in the game.
Yeah, for your personal.
Yeah, your personal stats.
I'm talking about like after a match.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, again, that kind of ties into the whole idea of like it also would be nice to see like scoring events and stuff. Just more things for us to feel.
That would be nice.
More things for us to feel good about while playing a video game.
Yeah, little pick up a Mario coin.
Again,
it's
possible that
bling.
It's possible that their vibe is like against that because they really like the atmospheric, like the whole idea of like the game being an atmospheric game and it being like immersion, like it's a horror game. So maybe they don't like that. They don't like that like video game shit getting in their horror game. I don't know.
But video game shit is like important.
I agree. I'm not using that. I'm not using that as an excuse.
Oh yeah, I know you're saying like it. Yeah, I know your point. I get it. Like
I just wonder if that's why.
Because user experience to me is like one of the most overlooked things in video game design, but it's like to me the most important.
I mean, they could make it a tick box. They could just make it an option. You know,
really?
uncheck scoring events.
Match summary. Click on a match summary, and it'll bring up a bunch of stats. That'd be cool. Ghostbusters does it.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters tells you how much.
Ghostbusters is a great example of like good UI in the post game. It feels.
You know, Ghostbusters
Unleashed is a very satisfying, excellently designed game.
It deserves more credit, and they're still going, dude. They've released 2 Ghosts since the last time we talked about it. We need to get back on Ghostbusters.
We do.
That game.
Like, I know we're going to play TCM after this, but maybe we should make a play date to play some. Because I got some. There was Ghostbusters had another Twitch drop the other day.
Yeah, I got all my skins. I got all my skins.
I got mine. They look good, right? They're really good.
Jerry and I are like, we play the game like once every 4 months, but then drops. We're like, ooh, skins.
I need them. I can't start playing it again and have like not have the skins.
Real. Maybe
I love Spirits Unleashed. I think it's great.
Maybe after Alien chapter drops, since we got Texas Chainsaw up to Alien chapter, we got a lot on our plate. Maybe like September we go on a little Ghostbusters.
Oh, I'd love that.
John, that'd be really fun. Yeah,
we could do a stream together.
I would love that.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah,
John, you want to play?
Yeah,
you love Ghostbusters.
Sure.
Is that a real though, or is that like?
Damn, I thought for a second that it might have been.
I didn't know. Maybe I thought maybe he would, for the good of the podcast, go back to Ghostbusters one last time, so you can give some late stage impressions of where the game ended up at.
We'll whittle John down. We'll convince him.
We would love to see the bad player perspective. late stage Ghostbusters. And since
Oh,
you played it for
interesting.
like 4 hours total, I think that you could fit that bill pretty well.
Well, I wouldn't say the bad player, maybe
New
inexperienced.
player.
New
Yeah,
player,
that's what
sure.
I would agree, John.
Is
Not
it-
bad.
Is it
Bad.
inexperienced?
You're a natural gamer. You're a professional gamer.
That is
It's
true.
That's true. So show some goddamn respect.
To my co-host.
My co-host. Wow. Taking authority. Coach is really putting some ownership words on you there,
Trying
John.
to motivate. Trying to motivate.
Yeah, you don't do that. Stop
Mhm.
it. You're bad at that. You're inexperienced at that, I feel like.
To bring us back onto Texas Chainsaw, there's a couple of things that I think we should probably talk about. And it's a word that you brought up, Doug, in your incredibly brief first impressions. Accessibility.
You're such a dick, bro.
I thought you'd be like, that's a real cunty move there,
Yeah.
Gary.
No, I could go with the cunt. I can go with dick. Either way. Like a little bit of both, I feel like. Yeah, accessibility options are just there's limited in a lot of ways, man. Like there's no option to remove motion blur. And apparently there's a workaround, right?
Yes, I believe I saw on Twitter that because I did see some people getting quite upset they couldn't remove motion blur because they can't play it with motion blur, which is completely understandable. But I think I saw someone tweet out that if you turn off post-processing, that removes the motion blur. I haven't confirmed that, but if that might be a workaround, which is good, but also
makes
should be
sense.
We're
a
testing.
separate tick box.
A lot of issues people are having with audio, and this was a problem in Friday the 13th as well, which is one of those things where it's like, man, you guys had like 7 years to figure this shit out. The game defaults to your Windows default audio sources, headphones, microphone, etc. Not everyone is a professional streamer that sets their shit up like with a Go XLR and like all these different like settings. Like not everybody knows that, so a lot of people, their default microphone might be their fucking webcam. It might be their whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised mine wasn't.
Yeah. And so the problem is that like people will either have no voice comms at all, or their voice comms are like coming through like a random source. And like the only way to fix that is to completely separate from the game, go into your Windows settings and adjust. And then like, I know one person who like, there was a person in my stream last night who literally had no audio in game until they disabled voice chat, and then they could hear the game. So they were able to play, but they're not able to use voice chat. And which is not great considering a lot of people are using voice chat,
especially playing family.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's an accessibility issue. I would say Gary's been saying this since the tech test, but there's no ping system. So I think that having voice comms be nearly required to play the game the way it's intended, like I feel like a ping system is really kind of needs to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be suited because I know some of the perks do help out, but we were discussing earlier the grind to get the perks able to do that is so vast that you have to give players a basic ping system, in my opinion, because there are people that don't want to talk on microphones, like
right. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I mean, I think also just in streaming, a lot of people don't want to. They don't want someone dropping a slur on their stream, getting in trouble with Twitch potentially.
And it's worth noting the game is on the Game Pass, which means anyone can pretty much pick the game up. It's like there's not that cache barrier. There's if you've got Game Pass, you can download the game, and
which is great for the game.
Yeah, great for the game's health.
For the game,
but awful for players who don't want to have to deal with slurs.
Yes.
And I just think a ping system would just resolve a lot of that issue.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of my audience, like the female members of my audience, aren't keen on that. I understand it completely. Don't want to go into open comms with bad man XX360 69. Don't want to play with that person who's gonna start shouting bollocks at them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think a ping system would be great. And if they want to avoid spamming, just like you don't need to ping that much. You could ping like
put a cooldown
once every minute or something. It doesn't even have to be that crazy.
Yeah.
Which game is it? Prop Night. Prop Night has a limit to how much you can like fart.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spam it to the point of making everyone go crazy.
Right, and you can't do it. They made it so where you can't fart when you're doing something now.
You can't do it on the chair. When you're on the hypno chair, you can't.
Yeah, you can't fart.
Or was that the other game?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true because I remember I was last time I played it, I got put in the chair and I was like, time to just fart until I'm rescued. And then
I
was
don't
like,
know
"Oh,
why
you
they
can't do it."
removed it.
Yeah,
We should check Prop Night see if they've turned that kitchen level back on yet.
I don't think they have because I've been checking every now and then. I think it's they may be completely reworking.
Can I just say, I'm really proud that we've basically listed every single ASIM game
Yeah.
today to restart.
Yeah,
we
we've done
said
really well.
we said we were only going to talk about Texas, right? And then
Yeah.
we've literally discussed every game, including ones that don't even exist anymore. So
Yeah, I miss you every day, Resident Evil Resistance.
We haven't
Didn't you-
talked about Puppet Master.
Oh, just have.
Yeah, just have.
number one. And that
counts.
is why we are the #1 Puppet Master podcast
Exactly.
worldwide, not just in Romania.
You're welcome, Puppet Master fans. I just mentioned the game.
I love that game, dude.
But-
We should play that.
but yeah.
game.
I'll be down playing. I thought it was really fun.
That was fun. They have a roadmap, dude. They're ahead of 90% of horror ASIMs. They got a fucking roadmap.
So, yeah, they got a run.
But yeah, accessibility wise, there's a lot to work on. Oh, sorry, John.
I would say a big part of that is they don't currently have a way to rebind controls.
Oh my God, I
which
didn't even think about.
Why?
is huge. Unbelievable.
Gary, the rage
Right,
quit.
can I
Gary-
go on a little rant?
Yeah,
Can I
go
on
ahead.
One?
When have you
Right,
ever asked
so-
permission to do that? Go on.
It's my. I don't want to
Coach
rudely
has us
interrupt
in
my
the huddle
co-host
right now.
Come on, lads. Right.
Come on, team.
Bring it in, team.
So in the game, there is a text chat. So if you don't want to use voice comms, you can use the text chat. There is that, I suppose you could argue. But my biggest gripe about it is you cannot do key rebinds, as John says, and the T key is right next to the R key, which also is your cancel button for when you're doing an action like unlocking it or picklocking a door or something. So if you're picklocking something or lockpicking, I keep saying it the wrong way around, and the killer starts coming at you, and then you panic because it's a horror game. And you're a bit panicked by the situation, and you crash down to press R, you press T, you're now in the text box, and you're dead. You die.
Right.
And it's really frustrating because, like, in that situation, it's really hard to. I know you've experienced it, Doug.
Oh,
I've
so
experienced
many
it
times. So
3
many
times was my
yeah.
last straw, and I was just annoyed for the day.
Yeah, because we'll be playing, and then it just my voice chat will come across, or my text chat will be like, "Bah," and Gary's like, he hit T again. Like, it's so fucking funny, dude.
But like, I just think it'd be nice if I could remap that to the enter key or something, because that's not doing anything on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not next to R, which is a really important button. It's just, it was really frustrating. I'm not entirely sure why it was mapped that way or why we can't do key rebinds.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would really like to see that added because it really ruined my, because like when that happens, when you're lockpicking a door in the basement and then you're murdered because you're stuck in that, and then you have to wait for the match to end because your 3 friends are carrying on playing. It was really annoying, and I didn't die. It didn't feel like I died because I fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
which is the worst feeling.
Exactly. It always feels worse to lose from something that like wasn't your fault, right?
Yeah.
I will say that the key binding thing is it's like befuddling. Like they didn't launch with the ability to change your key binds.
Yeah, like we want to be able to move our push to talk, for example.
Yeah, I want mine on my mouse. I use push to talk on my mouse everywhere. We ended up giving up on in-game comms and just using Discord so we could use our own push to talk buttons. Like, and that was that was I don't know, that was a good change. I want to say one thing. This is completely off topic, but I want to say it's funny. I love that like we fell into calling it pick locking. Like we did that when we were streaming it. Me, Gary, Sino, we all called it.
Is that
pick
why I'm
locking.
saying pick locking?
Because it's pick locking in fucking in prop night. It's the pick lock.
Is it?
In Fortnite, or no, sorry, prop night. In prop night, when you escape from the chair on your own, you use a pick lock. And that's and so I think
it's in our brain.
I think I called it a pick lock, and then Sino started calling it a pick lock. Then you started calling it a pick lock, and once again, the prop night devs have done it again.
They win.
Oh my gosh, they
Killing it.
wiggled their way into our minds once
They're,
more.
they're like the jester of the ASIM horror. They're like the king's confidant. They're like so important,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love them.
but they're farting game.
I love their farting game. I love that
Farting's great.
They're unhinged. They're good. They're good.
Actually, I'd have to go back to it because like the last time I played it, I was really impressed by the new map, the mines. So
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, Pop Night's still going as far as I know. I haven't checked in on them in a while, but people playing, that's great.
Yeah,
Let me check on them on Steam chart.
Good for
that's
good,
great.
good for them.
great.
Wow,
Good for
really,
them.
really crushing it.
I guess people will just play anything these days, huh?
Not VHS.
I mean,
Almost anything.
oh man, some of us don't have standards, guys.
Yep. Prop Night's got like 400 players in it right now.
Oh, nice.
400.
I mean,
That's all.
That's. I thought that's pretty
Well,
big, isn't it? Because TCM's just come out. I thought like.
yeah, that's probably
I guess-
why they were averaging 600 last month. So
I guess if they're head-to-heading with Texas Chainsaw, that's good. But they were over 1,000 very consistently for a long time, so it's sad to see that they're dropping a little bit. But I guess again, it does make sense given the nature of Texas Chainsaw just launching. There's like DVDs taking a hit right now too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we've seen them go up and down before, and they've recovered nicely. I think people honestly come back to Prop Night for the updates, because I think they had a pretty big update last month, and they saw a bump of like 200 average players when they did that.
Well,
so
that's good. That's really
yeah.
good.
It makes sense. I mean, I have fond memories of Prop Night. I think the game's great.
Yeah, just pop it on every now and then whenever we want to.
Yeah.
We should do that more often. We always say that.
Yeah, we need to be better about playing these. I don't want to call them lower tier games, but they're the less played games.
The once a week, once a month style games.
The problem is that they're once a week, once a month kind of games, and we play them like once a quarter at the most.
The trouble is like it's difficult for us to find time to like play games that aren't our job.
Yeah, we might need to maybe schedule something like a before or after podcast plan where we can.
I mean, I'm taking Friday off next week just so I can play Armored Core 6 because I know I'm going to struggle to find time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard you talking about that on stream.
I can't wait.
You're like, I don't give
I'm
a
so
fuck
happy.
about,
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck about any of you guys. I'm gonna play it by myself.
When I was like, I was telling chat, I don't care. I'm going. But I was like, when we were getting ready for the Texas Chainsaw show, I was feeling really giddy because I was like, get Texas Chainsaw, and then I get Armored Core 6, and then I get a Xenomorph.
Yeah,
this is great. What a great time to be a gamer.
Back.
And then you go to Twitter and people are going, I hate Texas Chainsaw. I hate Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Yeah. I'm like so happy. It feels like the best time to ever be an Asim horror fan.
Real.
Especially with Killer Klowns on the right. Oh, hang on, never mind.
Oh, please. Can you imagine if they just popped
they
up?
dropped it.
If they just popped up and dropped it like in October for Halloween and it was fucking good. Can you imagine if we had 3 good Asims to play? Oh,
that'd be awesome.
4 Prop Night.
Yeah, Project Playtime's solid too. I mean,
that's the one we haven't mentioned.
That's the one we haven't mentioned. That's it. Now it's complete.
I'd argue that there's a lot more. There's fun to be had in the genre.
Yeah.
Because again, I think it's hard for us because we're content creators, right? So we're always gonna have that like lens of, is this game content viable? Because like no one gives a shit about watching a Project Playtime stream. Nobody gives a shit about watching a Prop Night stream. Once in a while, I bet if we did like a Spine Chill Prop Night where we got together and maybe grabbed Sinnoh or Lynxy.
The last time I played Prop Night on stream, it did fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as DVD, but it wasn't bad.
And I think one strength that Prop Night has is that it's so similar to DVD that if you watch DVD, you pretty much know exactly what's going on.
You get it, and
they turn into objects. But other than that, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. And I think that Texas Chainsaw long term probably falls into that sort of category as a game for most DVD streamers. But like it's like a fucking Prop Night Plus in the sense that like you can play it whenever and people are gonna want to watch and they're gonna enjoy it. You get your friends together to play. But in terms of it having like main game potential, I think it'll struggle a little. I mean, people will main it. I think it'll be solid enough to main, but I don't think a lot of DVD streamers will completely switch over. Because again, DVD's got the consistent release cycle, consistent updates, consistent player base, consistent content.
Well, for me, I mean, I like talking to chat, talking about random bollocks, which I can do as Survivor easily, and I can do as Killer to an extent as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Texas Chainsaw is so the atmosphere. I'm going to prattle about how good it is. Like it's so immersive that you I was kind of forgetting I was streaming when we were playing it. Because I was just focusing on the game and having fun with my friend. Like it was so good.
Agreed. It's easy to kind of find yourself lost in the game.
Yeah.
You know? I find myself again, and it all comes with repetition, but I find myself losing myself to the game and then missing a lot of chat when I'm playing Texas Chainsaw. Yeah. Even if nothing's really going on in the game, I'm just losing myself to the game a little bit.
It's because like you're constantly worrying about. I mean, I think today I've seen a couple times. I think it was you as well, Doug. Like the one time you do look over to chat, something goes wrong.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
That resub got me killed.
I broke a fucking. I was lockpicking the the
that was it, yeah.
the battery escape, and it broke. And then they got to me in time, and I died because I looked at fucking chat and I broke my lockpick. I was like, "You guys got me killed," and I blame Gary specifically.
I was there. I was the one being very talkative.
It's too handsome.
Supporting my best friend Doug.
Couldn't stop simping for Gary in chat and died for it. You know, it happens.
But yeah, so Texas Chainsaw, it's got some areas for improvement, but generally,
Yeah,
I think a lot of the areas for improvement are outside of the core game.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got an excellent baseline gameplay loop. Like, it's fun to play victim. It's fun to play family, and they're fun in different ways. And that's plenty to build on. That's more than most games get, frankly.
Well, they've got the hardest bit working.
Yes,
That's fun. That's like the hardest bit to get right. The rest of it's all things they could completely change the progression system. They could like that could be completely thrown away and redone.
Blow it up, honestly.
Yeah, and it could fix the problem. Like,
yeah.
And they shouldn't be scared of doing that because right now the progression system's not great. I'll be surprised there's many people. I'd be surprised there's many people saying that they love it and they would hate to see it go.
Not a single. Yeah. I can't imagine a single person pushing back on them adjusting the progression system.
Yeah. So everything that is a major issue. Like it's just you can just completely fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this would be a Band-Aid fix, but like even if they had progression, like be 3 times as fast, but you get like 2 skill points instead of 5 for leveling up. At least you would see
number going up. Yeah,
exactly.
That's all people need.
And then you could keep basically the same structure in place while you think of a new one.
I also think if I level up a perk level 3 on one character, it should be for all of them. Because one of the DVD, again, I know DVD comparisons, but it's really satisfying when you get a character to P3 and you're like, I've got those perks on everyone now.
Yeah.
Still haven't got Skull Merchant to P3. I refuse to put points into her.
Oh god. Bro.
Yeah, no, I bought all of her perks on the Shrine of Secrets.
I got her to P1 just because I needed to unlock her perks for a different killer so I could do a challenge. Because I was not doing it as Skull Merchant.
Defiance. Proud of you guys. I think I'm like P11 on Skull Merchant. I'm a sick person. I'm not well.
It's okay. We still love you.
I appreciate that. I need that. Even monsters need to be loved, Gary.
Did you say there was? I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about Texas Chainsaw today. We've kind of covered most of it. I mean, I'm sure we've forgotten something, but
I mean, the only thing we haven't talked about is the matchmaking lobby issues, which is just like, I mean, that's really not anything for us to cover, right?
They'll fix them.
It's the first week of the game. It's crossplay at launch, voice chat with everybody. I think that considering all that, they did a pretty good job.
It might not necessarily be on their end. It may be like a weird Steam issue that I don't think it's part of the game. I think it's like a weird connection with Steam.
Well, but
just because I'm seeing so many instances of John, you playing it many times.
Yeah, I was asking people in chat, like, is this happening on console? And a lot of people were like, yeah, it is. Some people say they never had it, but there were a lot of people that were just like, I'm on PS4 and it's happening to me. I'm on Xbox and it's happening to me. So, yeah, it's not just a Steam issue from what I can tell. But I think that does need to be priority 1. And I think it needs to be fixed pretty soon. Like, I know, there's a certain grace period that you get opening weekend, but like, if this is happening the second weekend and the third weekend. Oh no,
that's the game. The game fucking dies if it's like this through the third weekend. I got people coming into the chat saying that it took them 10 minutes to get to a match because they kept kept either having no backfill or the bug and having to reset.
And also another issue that doesn't really help is that the lobbies are 3 minutes.
Yeah,
which is a very long time.
But they have to because they have this really long skill tree system. So
yeah, but if they have a way for you to do that in between matches, then that goes away. You can have like a 1 minute lobby or something. It's just like you sit through all the matchmaking. Do you guys have that thing where like it just didn't find enough players for your lobby?
Yes, and then it resets.
Yeah, so you spend 3 minutes on top of matchmaking in the dead lobby, and then it resets and you go back into queue. It's just a lot of time to not be playing the game.
Yeah,
when it's brand new. So yeah, I hope they get that fixed up.
As one last thing about Texas Chainsaw as well. As a good thing again to say, I love the gas station map. We didn't talk about it, but I really like the gas station map. The maps are all great, but the gas station I think it's really fun.
Yep.
I have one bone to pick with the gas station map.
I know
something that something that doesn't make any sense to me. It's the only map that's like this. It's not like the family map or the slaughterhouse map. And that's that. So you have the car battery side, right? And the opposite side, you have the gas station. And the gas station side, you just have to unlock the gate there, and you're out. I don't understand why that's the thing. You don't need the valve. You don't need the fuse.
Because there's the side door, right?
Yeah, you don't need to do the generator. You don't need to do the car battery. It's got a 5th exit possibility.
I wonder if that is designed that you see, oh, we're on the gas station. Maybe we should bring a cook. Maybe we should lock the shit out of those doors to really slow them down. I think that might be why that's an option.
Maybe that's why the cook's still in the game when Johnny exists.
Maybe, yeah.
For that one
gas station map.
Because when a cook is in the game and they lock up some really important door, it can be a nightmare.
Oh, dude!
Especially sometimes, when like someone gets out an exit point, and then you're like, okay, I'll go out that way as well. And you run in that direction, and then the cook's been there, and he's locked everything up, and you're like, oh, he saved them for now.
I got so mad. I got so mad yesterday because I had a situation like that where he had padlocked one of the gates, and I would have been out if he hadn't padlocked it because I had the two tools, and because I had to go back and find a third tool, they showed up and caught me, and they never would have had me. I would have been out. So those padlocks, if the padlocks are used properly, it's. I think the padlocks are like his strongest part. Yeah. I think it's definitely. It's one of those.
None of us are playing the cook. I might start playing them because I like locking doors.
I might do it too.
It's weirdly satisfying.
I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, I might just go start playing more cook. So maybe I won't play.
Get out of my head, dog.
Oh, I like it in there.
Me too.
It's cozy.
I like having you in there.
I like it in there. I train on Gary.
But no, John, I understand what you mean. Like it breaks the mold of the other levels.
Right. Well, the gameplay lessons that you learn playing Family, and for that matter, Victim, on all the other maps don't apply for all the other maps. The other two maps.
And because there's a lack of, there's no explanation. That door is another escape point. You just have to find that out through trial and error. Which
after like the 5th time I saw Connie as like the last survivor hobbling through there, I was just like, what's going on over here? And that's when I figured out that, oh, you just unlock the gate here and then you're out.
Yeah, then you just open a couple more doors and
yeah. So
I haven't used it yet. I'm the idiot that keeps doing the bloody car battery.
I love car battery.
Yeah. Well, it's more.
I didn't know it was there for the longest time.
We search for the thrill.
It's true. It's a party game.
It is a party game.
Yeah, it's not a competitive game, guys. Try to have some fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually call it on a party game because that's how they describe it.
Yep.
So that's what it is. Do we have anything else to cover?
I think Doug said there was a lot. Was it last year update or something, or is that something we can talk about?
No, they haven't. They just talked about an update. They haven't actually.
Oh, okay.
They did a balance update, and then they talked about adding new content. So
they talked about it.
You know,
I don't think they understand. I don't think they understand. Like, TCM is out now. We don't need you anymore. Last year, you don't have content yet.
You're so last year.
Uninstalled. We have Texas Chainsaw now. We don't need you.
Damn, dude.
Like, what are they fucking doing over there? What are they doing? They're like, oh, we bought the game. We re-released it. And now we're just going to go jerk off for 3 months. What the fuck?
It's true. It's true.
Hey, if we want views, this is what we got to do, okay? So
yeah, I was just going to say.
Is this the clip for...
I was literally just going to say, this should be the Twitter clip. This is great.
Yeah,
I love John Rage content is my favorite part of the podcast.
Can you do it outside of, like, clip it, so it's outside of the context of last year, and make sure it says, like, discussing Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah,
so it's
like, I really want West to unfollow me. That sounds like a great idea. No, but seriously, well, I don't know what they're thinking. We're talk about content? What do you got? You're really lucky Killer Klowns has gone silent. That's all I gotta say.
God, I want to believe Killer Klowns is coming back. Come on, boys.
Me too. It was the one I was the most excited for. It looked so stupid.
I just don't understand what the point is in like buying the game and re-release it, like buying the rights to it, re-releasing it, if you're just not going to do anything with it.
It does feel like they bought it, didn't have an action plan.
Well, a fool and his money are soon parted. Okay, not to quote the Bible at them or anything, not to get all biblical on their ass, but I just don't get it. Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. It's because I'm right.
Guys.
My co-host is always right.
Guys, I'm in the I'm in the Killer Clowns Discord right now.
Yeah.
They're not talking about stuff.
They're saying that people
are
are signing up for the beta.
What?
What is happening right now?
I don't know. I mean,
August 20th, 2023.
we'll have to do more investigating. Maybe they could be trolling. They're saying they signed up for the beta. Wait,
Well, I signed up for it. I signed up for it fucking ages
now
ago.
I just realized. Yeah, the beta was released like forever ago.
the sign up for the
Sign
beta
up,
was forever ago.
Sign-ups.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I signed up for the beta, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant there was something going down there like, no, they're like, sign up now and you'll get access to it in a couple of weeks or something.
Sign up for the beta
I was about to shit talk her if that was true. I was like, this is like the dumbest time to do that.
Yeah, that would be the worst
In between
possible
TCM
time.
and a xenomorph, like
Openings, yeah.
take the
they gotta
month,
wait.
guys.
Yeah,
maybe
take a month off.
Maybe give an announcement, be like, something's coming in October.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all they need to do.
I think a teaser would be like the most you could get away with right now without it being a complete fucking flop because with Texas Chainsaw and Alien, nobody cares about anything else.
Yeah.
Did you hear that last year?
Got my hopes up there for a second.
No. Last year, anybody that's involved with last year already fucking closed the podcast, John. They heard you ranting, they started crying, and they left. They said, I don't want to listen.
But it's good. Maybe
But if you
do
are from-
something now.
But if you are from last year and still here, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, please. Let us know what the hell you're going to do with it.
We'd love to have you on the podcast to discuss last year.
Do you just love sitting on your ass doing nothing, or
That would be question number one.
Let's get one of them on to interview them. Let's get somebody from last year on.
Yeah. We can get our suits back on.
Yeah, I can get my questions ready.
We can do that facing it.
I'll be like, okay, so, let's see. Are you stupid or just playing stupid?
And then
Let's start with that. Yeah. Response?
God damn, boys. God damn.
All right. Well, I guess that's gonna draw the best season yet to a close.
Another excellent season. Season 36.
We're about to be the longest running
Oh my God.
Dead by Daylight podcast. I'm just saying.
Is that the last accolade we need?
I think so. After that, we've got them all. We've collected all the medals.
Oh my God. Then we need to come up with something new.
Yeah.
Because winners got to keep winning.
What's the challenge after that? I just don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Monstrum 2! We didn't mention Monstrum 2. There you go.
Oh.
I saved us. Phew. Now we've
There's
mentioned
gonna be
the number one Monstrum 2 podcast as well.
I'm looking forward to seeing like which one we've missed.
White Noise too.
It's always White Noise 2. Damn.
Yeah, White Noise too.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else too.
If it's lower down the list than White Noise 2.
I mean, I think there's some really old ones, but I don't think they're.
Oh, they
active
don't count.
anymore. Yeah, like Dead
If it's
Realm, I'm
old.
pretty sure isn't a thing anymore.
Oh, Dead Realm.
You remember Dead
That
Realm?
was fun.
That was pre Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah.
With the giant head.
With the giant baby head, thing. Yeah. That's back when it was like that. That's back when the asymmetrical horror genre really was just a party game genre.
Yeah. Because I remember, I really liked the level design of like paintings and going behind them. And,
That was cool. Yeah.
yeah.
There's some cool things in that game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't play it anymore. I don't think it's listed on the Steam store.
No, I don't think you can.
They shut the servers down. Yeah.
I'd be
Those don't
surprised.
count. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go putting their names in the comment section.
Yeah. Do
They
your
don't
research,
count.
okay? Thanks.
Yeah, all of you that stay till the end of the fucking 2.5 hour podcast are just gonna get talked down to now.
I'm curious
like an indie game.
how many people will still like listen to us ramble. We've stopped talking about text. We're just talking bollocks at this point.
I do want to say that even though we hit that 500 rating for Doug's co-host application, we've now hit 600 ratings on Spotify. So
That's our next goal. That's our
They
next
kept
goal.
going.
Yeah. Well done, everybody.
Great job, Spine Chillers.
Do we reward them?
Spine Chillers. That's such a good name for everybody.
It is.
We gotta
Just
come up. We come up
with
with a reward for 1,000 ratings, 1,000 5-star ratings. We'll do something cool.
We got to think about yeah, because I mean, we're
1,000
well on our way.
1,000 5-star ratings. You guys have to. We play a VHS custom with Sinnoh. We get Sinnoh in.
Oh, I don't know if could we do that in time?
I don't know. If
That's
we
like
get
a time restrained one.
I mean, maybe though.
maybe if we get it in time, we could do a live podcast together.
Spine Show Live?
That'd be fun. I've always thought it'd be fun to do. I've always thought it'd be fun to do a live one where we take questions because people always have questions.
Oh, well, I meant like in person, but we could do it like on Twitch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We could have callers. We could have people call in.
We could be in person together and stream.
Wait,
together.
are we both going to go to Texas, Gary? Is that the plan?
What?
How are we
Yeah,
doing
I
in
was
person?
thinking, like, it could be an option.
What?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if we did it in like a live together.
Spine Show Live.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, I've got only our video listeners will be able to see this, but I've got 2 mics right here, and Kimmy's got a 3rd one, so we could just set that up.
Oh, it'd be so cool. So yeah, 1,000.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
can make that happen.
1,000 ratings, Spine Show Live. And you know what? If we don't have 1,000 ratings by the time you guys get here, well, we'll just hang out and get some Whataburger.
There it is. There it is. Fuck
Yeah.
you guys. Fuck you,
you might see
listeners.
a
We'll
picture
still have
on
fun.
Twitter.
Pornos.
We'll have our fun, and you guys won't
Yeah.
get anything.
We're all about food. We'll have our food.
We'll have our fun to spite you.
That's
Everyone's
fun.
in control of their own food.
Not the survivor mates.
I don't train on basement.
All right. I think it's about time to wrap her up.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. I want to go play
let's
Texas
get
Chainsaw,
outta
dude.
Yeah. And I'm
so-
boiling.
signing off. Thanks for tuning in. I'm a co-host, John Wolf. Gary, you're also a co-host.
Yeah, Gary.
Thank
the
you.
Hot Cross.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, right. Our recurring guest, Doug Runningman. Thank you for joining us once again.
Why do you guys say it like that, though? Like, I'm a co-host.
We gave you the
I'm a
little-
co-host.
Because we are co-hosts.
Yeah.
No. At NDA.
We
know
should
what?
proudly say you're the guest.
I'm so proud to be a guest here on Spine Chill. Thank you for having me yet again for another week. Appreciate you both a lot. Thank you.
That sounded really sincere. Like, I'm starting to think you don't want to be a co-host. You're just so desperate because you were so proud to be a guest.
You know, it's one of those things.
Aw.
You know, sometimes like you got a guy who will work and they work till they're like in their 70s. They just can't stop working, and then when they retire and they die like a few months later, it's like
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
purpose is gone. I
Mhm.
don't know, maybe for me it's the hunt. I don't know. Like I'm worried. I'm a little worried. Maybe I'm a little
So-
scared.
We'll so you become a
So-
co-host and then you just die.
You become a co-host
So
and I
that-
literally die in real life. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is the thing.
So if we want to keep you alive, then we
Yeah.
have to keep you a guest.
Possibly.
Okay.
I don't
That's a
know.
lot of pressure.
Oh.
Uh,
John, we'll have
Let's
to
take a
take
look
this into
at it.
account.
Let's take a look at that envelope that we handed
Yeah.
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look. Think about it.
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys
We
later.
can't end this week. We just keep going. So we just gotta stop it. I want to play video games. Let's go.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hugs and kisses.
Bye.
Hugs and kisses.
Bye.
I'll even say hugs and kisses, and we just gotta go.